Happy Monday. Welcome back to Retake the Week. Yeah, it's not actually Monday. I'm unavailable Monday to do the show, so we'll be recording and uploading in post, essentially. But we're recording Sunday night after the EPL Grand Final has concluded, so we'll be able to retake everything properly. I've just realised I've not made a single lower third this entire time we've been sat here. So we'll see how that all looks. It might look really weird because we're reusing half the shit we used last week because the categories haven't been changing very much week by week. But yeah, we are also going to be talking about some smaller events, some really small events in this week's retakes. There are some VRS lands, and yes, I checked. Everything I've put in the notes has some relevance and some bearing on the actual VRS situation around the world. It isn't just me amusing myself by talking about the smallest events possible and just justifying it by if no one else does, if we don't, who will, blah blah blah, all the kind of things I usually say. No, all of this stuff actually has VRS implications. But yeah, before we get into all that, before we even address the Swedish man who's creepily sitting in the room staring at us and slowly changing the color of his face, we should thank the members who make this show possible, make this show so fun, and also make this show available on audio-only platforms. So if you're an audio-only listener and you're not a member, you have some members to thank. We have the core honor roll down below, and of course our core contributors, Excel and Romich, who get their own special podcast that is a members-only podcast called the Contributor Cast. Yeah, if you want to enjoy all that stuff and all the other perks and privileges you get as a member, please join today. It's a great way to support the channel, and it gets you access to a bunch of bonus content and the right to vote on certain things. Okay. Quack, happy Monday, technically Sunday. Had a good week. Anything to promo?
Very. I was in Copenhagen for the Parken Challenger Championship, the second edition, which is, I mean, it's too late to promo it now, but I think I did it last week as well. Last week I wasn't here. That's why Tony was here.
Not last week, but the week.
That's why I looked unusually handsome. And I was very upset about all of you guys who said that the show was better with him.
I saw those comments and I was like, honestly, there was one comment which I gave it a heart. Then I read the rest of it and realized what he was saying, that it sounded better. And I was like, oh, I got to unheart that. I can't be promoting that idea.
No, I don't really care. It was. Thank you, Tony, for filling in. It was a nice listen, to be honest. It was an entertaining listen. But yeah, no, nothing special to promo.
Yeah,
I don't.
My favorite comment from last week, honestly, was just someone. I think it was in the live chat, or it might have been in a comment. It's just like, "Oh, Kingt doesn't have his favorite punching bag this week." I thought that was genuinely funny.
Let me read this out because there's a couple of funny ones. Excellent guess. It feels like Tony's knowledge, mic skills, and clarity leveled up the show.
That's the one I accidentally liked, and then realized what he said and unhearted it. I was like, no.
I need a permanent Kingt and Why Not podcast.
Yeah, that's
an alarming lack of Swedish propaganda being spread this week. Fucking Tony loves Swedish CS almost more than I do. So.
And yet he didn't hit the propaganda.
I'm drunk and thought it was Quack for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, new office setup, new lighting, stick some glasses on you. That could be you.
He has very long hair these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony. No, nothing else to promo. It's the usual. Fragbite shit, TLDR shit. Follow me on Twitter. Oh, actually, yeah, there's a new episode of Out on Inters, mine and Excel's F1 podcast, which 10 people have watched. So maybe another
not one.
So it's fun. It's fun. We actually had really good takes this time. We know a lot about Formula One.
Yeah, stick one of those takes in the title is my recommendation to Excel. No one will click on Out on Inters episode whatever. That's not clicky enough. But yeah, we can do some behind the scenes coaching. Excel, shout out, legend of the channel as a contributor, has his own show on F1. How wild! But let's get into the Counter-Strike EPL, of course, happening this week. Let's find out what the EPL lower third's going to look like. No, that's the wrong one. There we go. Well, it's got Na'Vi and Aurora on it. It also has Spirit on it. It looks fine. There we go. So the place we're going to begin with this, as the timestamp will indicate, is Spirit and Mouse. Yes, Despirited Rodentia. Disappointing. I put out a tweet, and when we saw the playoff brackets lined up, saw the 2-3-0 teams who they got matched up with, and I thought, yeah, okay, these two have to make the grand final. Like, it's not just boom or bust for Mouse, because Mouse, have been endlessly unsuccessful, constantly running into the very best teams in the world, getting knocked out in top fours by primarily a combination of Falcons, Vitality, and I believe Spirit. There was no excuse this time. They had to make the grand final at least. There's been a couple of exceptions more recently, but generally over the course of the last year and a bit, that's been the 3 teams who've knocked them out. And there was no excuse really here. They had to make the grand final. And in the end, they get upset by Foot in close games. And Foot have not exactly been a close game team. They've been pretty unreliable, actually, in really close games. They've been a bit of a choking team, especially in group stages, right? They look young, they look inexperienced, they look like their strat book doesn't have the depth, they don't have the malleability, the flexibility to go into something else. Like, their game isn't plastic like that. It doesn't flow into new ideas too well. And you're like, okay, maybe in this closer game with MOUZ can close it out. No, instead 13-11 on both the maps that Foot win, I believe. Like, it's really tough to watch if you're trying to root for MOUZ and hoping to see them succeed and honestly just get to the grand final here and show that they have the mettle to still be that definite gatekeeper to the top 4, top 5 type team. Instead, just can't seem to get it done in the dying embers of Dust 2 and Mirage against Foot. And rack up another disappointment. Quack, I don't know what there is to say that hasn't been said already. Because a lot of time, honestly, my thoughts have been, all of those responses, all those comments have been too early. They're not prompted by reality. They're triggered by an emotional backlash of just like, this team's in the playoffs but doesn't win everything, must be shit. That this like sort of weird loop people got stuck in. Now there's some validity, I think. Now I think we've reached that point where, everything everyone's been saying, you can now just take it, plop it now, and be like, okay, let's have a chat. Who are we cutting?
I mean, I think I kind of lost your train of thought there, but I'm just going to talk about fucking Food. They were very good in this event. No, because suddenly, who are we cutting? I'm like, we're not cutting anybody. Food are amazing. Or what?
No, none of this was about Foot. Nothing I said was about Foot. I was talking entirely about MOUZ the entire time.
Oh, MOUZ! You said when they were kind of a choker team and whatever, I actually thought it was about Food, because we've said that about Food as well, I think, in close games.
Yes, I did talk about both, but it was... I
can't
be bothered.
I'm very tired. I am very fucking tired. Fuck, okay, already. I've hyped Tony up so much about being how good he was when I wasn't here, and then immediately I do this. This is amazing. MOUZ might just be shit, to be honest. MOUZ might just be shit. Maybe it is time for an IGL change. Maybe it is time for somebody to get good. And now I'm starting to think in that vein as well. And I'm wondering if you are starting to waver in your feeling that these guys are very, very, very good and deserve to a lot of praise, and they should stick it out with this roster until it stops working. I'm wondering if you reached that point where you feel like it has stopped working, or if you think they can still carry on.
For me, this is the point. This is kind of my breaking point. That's why I said my tweet was, I'm gonna kick up a fuss, make a ruckus. I'm gonna be irate about this. Like, if this is not the grand final, MOUZ Spirit, and it's for both teams. Both teams had to make the grand final for me to be happy and silent, and neither one did. So I'm doubly pissed off. So I'll get to Spirit eventually, but for MOUZ, for me, it's unacceptable. The results you had were fantastic. If you sustained them, and especially if you delivered when the chief obstacles, the teams you didn't have the firepower to match, the teams who had you beat in every aspect of the game, in vitality sense, the teams you simply couldn't match up with in the playoffs, when you didn't have to face any of them and still failed to even make the grand final, yes, it's unacceptable. Yes, it's a breaking point. Like, that's the straw for me. And my Camel's got a pretty strong back when it comes to MOUZ. Like, unlike most people who took one straw and were like, fuck this, and just left. I had a lot of patience for MOUZ. No, this Pro League choke, to be clear, choke, ends it, breaks it. You've got to change IGL. You've got to find a mental switch somewhere and flip it. Like, that's a player's changing, but the right kind of players to come in. You have to make a move. You have to try something. I'm not sure I'm all out on the desperation moves that I might be able to suggest. We'll get into that exact stuff later, but yes, for me, I am at the point where I'm entertaining those discussions seriously and not just because I have to, because that's all everyone else talks about.
Yeah, I see that point. I'm not sure I have a name in mind, because you always say, okay, so they have to make a change. Name the player. I can't really name the player right off the bat for myself. Not anybody who I think is doable, who I think is actually viable and actually available. Especially not this close to the major. They're playing out the season with this roster no matter what.
Do you have a, by the way,
But
I know you don't have to suggest a player coming in, but do you have a player in mind that you think is the key place to be cutting?
I think you could go many different ways. I think there is a genuine problem in that Torji, as much as he is, I think he is very good. He's never going to be that good. And especially now that you have some other oppers who both are maintaining a pretty high level, like you have some players like we talked about Moladoy. Naturally, we have Zaiwu and Shiro and Monesi. Naturally, you even now have in this event you have like Wonderful about. You had Fuzi with a standout performance, which is like a genuinely very solid performance. It's starting to look like Mao's. While before you could maybe justify that Torji was the 5th best opper in the world, still you could probably put him there. It's starting to look like he's very much slipping behind in my eyes. And even Woxic had a great event here. Like Woxic outperformed Torji by quite some margin, individually speaking. You could go there. I think you could go to Zershan. As much as Zershan has a very high peak, it's clear that over the past couple of years, his consistency hasn't changed. Like it hasn't improved whatsoever. He's still very inconsistent. And of course you have to go to Brawler. And even I have to say that like we have to go to Brawler and we have to think about the calling of this team. And again, that's a very tricky one, which I think really depends on who is available. Which is not even like I for the other ones I could theorize with like transfers. I think would be cool. Like a Fuzi for Torshi would be pretty cool, or something similar. But like for in-game leader, I can't even throw a name out there because it really just depends on who's available. If Kyksan suddenly becomes available, that would be a cool move to make. Is if Alexi B suddenly were to become available, probably not now that they won a fucking event.
Probably not now, but yeah, no.
No, but
before
but
this
like
win, that was a conversation we had. Yeah.
Last week that was a valid conversation. And like if that was to happen, then yeah, I'd pull the trigger on that. But I'm not. I can't really throw it to another one. Like aside from that, it's hard to say anything. Like Krabetny. Yeah, but like, that's why are we even entertaining that idea when it's quite obvious that's not even going to happen? So then it's just, I think honestly it might be a case of who gets benched first in the teams above Mouse. So maybe just go to the other pieces first. I think I wouldn't touch Spinks and I wouldn't touch Yimpat.
Okay, you're not touching Yimpat. That's interesting because that's a narrative that has shifted recently, clearly. Because prior to maybe this event, Jimmy was getting, he was getting ripped to shreds last year, let alone this year. This year, I don't think he started that strongly. Let me just check and make sure I'm not hallucinating those numbers.
No, he wasn't. I was
until Pro League. Yeah, his numbers were pretty shit, despite the team being top 4 at both the events. Again, that started off the season. It's just now that with his Pro League, people have quieted down a bit. But I don't know. I have a very clear selection of who I'm changing. If in terms of the player I have to cut, because I agree with you, there is a lot of dependencies in terms of the specific mouse move you can make. In terms of IGL changes, exactly who you'd go for. You have to see if anyone becomes available. You have to see if there's anyone you like that's available. You're not going to just promote your Academy IGL, right? Like, that's just crazy. And then there's also the other case of, like, if you want to make an upgrade in terms of positional players, who is there out there that's guaranteed to upgrade any piece? Like, can you get a Torji replacement? Would a Torji replacement become available anytime soon? So you talked about Woxic, that's not going to happen. Talk about Wonderful. Until recently, that was not a terrible sort of suggestion in terms of he'd become available. It wasn't a great suggestion as far as his level. Like, he wasn't a player who you'd say was an upgrade over Torji until literally this grand final. Like, it's pretty much until this grand final. You wouldn't have said that. So it's crazy to even suggest the Wonderful move. So I'm looking at one very specific place. I need one of Brolan or Zershan to be cut. And I think specifically, if I'm blind cutting with no guarantee in terms of what this future offseason holds, I'm cutting Brolan every time. Because I can, at the end of the season, replace him with any IGL and any rifler pretty much. Like, it's not quite literally that extreme, but it is not too far off in terms of the number of riflers that could fit into maybe some roles you can open up by moving Zershan to IGL and finding the right fit in terms of a rifler, because Zershan could probably not be as aggressive, or if you need him to be super aggressive still, you could find a different sort of pack rifler to fill in. You could do a number of things, and if you want to make the move now, you actually can. You can make this move tomorrow, bring in Zelex, and figure it out until the off season. At which point you have a decision to make. Like, if there is a player available, we can now make the signing. If there is no player available that was actually an upgrade, there's no Lexi B. You know, there's no, fuck it, let's say Nertz gets, you know, his contract probably isn't that long. Like, maybe the Liquid situation isn't that fun for him, the G2 rather. Maybe you can buy him out of that after that deal's gone down. There are places you can go at that point. And then you can still decide, hey, maybe Torchi's also a problem, and we make that move, and we go get XYZ player. So I do think the solution, as much as it is a solution, it's not ideal. It is currently, if you want to make a mid-season change, it is drop Brolan in a heartbeat, bring in Zelex, who's been really good in your academy, and just ride out the season with a sort of bootleg sort of configuration. Unless some people have suggested the JL move endlessly. I don't hate it as far as the emotional balance of the team. If you're trying to get the Xerxes IGL thing up and running immediately, you could also go for him if he's available. But he's already in talks with teams, so I'm not sure that's going to be particularly viable. Unless he's in talks with you, but whatever. So no, I don't think it's... You're right in that it is very ambiguous as to who you even can get, who you would want to get. You want to sit behind your microphone to be heard properly, by the way. It's actually hilarious. It's like when you lean forward, you turn into like a very distant echo of yourself.
Yeah, it's very much pointed in the right direction. This is new, guys. This is new.
But yeah, that's the way I see it. I don't, again, I maintain my stance of before, where it's like, if you can't give me an actual replacement, like you can't name one that makes positional and like firepower / just potential sense, then why are you talking to me?
I think you have to look to one of those three players, and I'm leaning more towards Brolan and Xerxes. I think Spinks is pretty much safe, as much as I think he's
100%. No, there's no world where I'm changing Spinks out for anyone.
No,
right now
and Jimmy, while he hasn't been great, I think I said at some point last year as well, is that suddenly it was like at some point before people really started talking about it, I was like, he's really slowed down. Like he hasn't developed into what people thought he would develop into, and like he's actually worse than he was when he started. And then he just never really recovered from that. It's just the thing that like you're not. I don't think Mouse are starting to win trophies if you put Mezzi into his positions. It's kind of my point. It's like minus Jimmy plus the best anchor in the world. No, nothing is really going to win trophies for them. It's just, so I think you do a lot more impact if you can find a good Xerxes replacement or a good Brolan replacement, or try a Xerxes IGL thing, or maybe so a JL for Brolan. That feels like a slight mismatch, somewhat. I don't know. I feel like Brolan still takes a lot of openings. He takes a lot of entry duels. JL
doesn't take an excessive amount, and JL can 100% play those positions.
Fair. Yeah, fair.
No, because
JL would be fun if JL isn't talking to us.
He was a bit of a role player on Na'Vi, but also a bit of an X factor, and that he could come off and take some aggressive openers a lot of the time. And Brolan, look, he's just not. It's just not led to enough, I think, to justify him continuing as the IGL of this team. Like at this point, like he's had a pretty impressive tenure with this team, like just in general. Yeah. And his IGL portion as well has been actually pretty good. You know, like they won an event straight off the bat. They were a historically good top 4 team. They made an incredible amount of playoff appearances. They were able to be consistent when almost no one else was, and yet most teams skated by with half the fucking criticism that Mouse did. Like, he did a pretty damn good job. Helped he had Cyclone, my coach of the year last year, but still did a pretty damn good job. So it's just reached the end of what it could be. He's not a full-time IGL in the long run. He needs to bugger off and go figure out what else he wants to do. He was a fine player for them when he wasn't an IGL. He's still 23. Yeah. Go find your team, man. Like, you don't have to be the caller on this team.
No, I think talent doesn't disappear. He's obviously very talented. I think even now he has moments occasionally where like it shows he's very good. But it's just maybe not. No, it maybe just isn't his thing, to be honest. Maybe just isn't. He might just. I think he does feel like a natural leader role, personality-wise. I think Brolan is, as much as he's portrayed as this quite quiet guy, he's very talkative. I think there's a reason why he has been the caller for this team for over a year at this point. But tactically, it's not really doing anything. You could have somebody better there. I can agree with that.
Yeah, shift up in the mentality, shift up in the vision.
Yeah.
But yeah, disappointing. And my run of believing, my run of enduring, basically, of just tanking the stock, just holding the stock
Yeah.
and letting it tank. Yeah, even I'm selling now. Like, give me something else. Give me a change.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've now spent 50 minutes just on the mouse portion of this. Spirit, a lot of people desperately cling to the idea that this is fine. There's a lot of people in a burning house right now telling me this is fine. No, the fuck it isn't. And people have quite quickly gone to the idea that, oh, guys, it's a new IGL. Like, give him time. He's got to figure it out. It's like, there was no fucking need to do this. There was no, like, desperate requirement for you to just switch to a non-real IGL, Spirit, and fuck it all up. There was no need for that. No one forced you to do that. You chose to give Magix the reins. And it was a terrible idea. Bring Chopper back now. Now, please. I don't care that it's only been 3 or 4 events, or what is it, like 3 months. I don't care. I don't see it. Bring Chopper back. It doesn't make sense to run this team this way. I just refuse to believe this will work in the long run, short term, anything. Donk's not fucking thriving. He had his shittest playoff series in a long time. Bring Chopper back. I hate this. Fuck all of you who suggested Chopper should be cut, by the way. You're all wrong. None of you had a better idea for IGL. Neither did Spirit. It fucked it up. Point is just as simple as that.
No, I don't know. I don't know if there even is a fix for Spirit at this point. I think the fix might be just Donk join another team. It might just be that. No, I'm not. I don't because I don't think Chopper was doing particularly well on Spirit.
Neither he only won multiple prestige trophies. He did have a successful tenure with the team for many, many years. He got a lot out of the team prior to the team having Donk. Ignoring all of the stuff he did that was successful, yeah, he was terrible. But he did do a lot that was successful. And signing Magix has just made you kind of a weird calamity where it's like nothing's gotten better. In fact, things have gotten worse. And now you don't even fluke a win every now and then.
Yeah.
Like, this is just ass. You're a great group stage team. That's about it.
Yeah. No, I don't have I just don't have a fix for them. I don't think bringing back Chopper isn't necessarily a fix either, because they looked pretty fucking terrible before they brought back Magix as well. So
Budapest Major, they made top 4. They beat Falcons in a playoff game. They weren't just a group stage team.
They looked horrible when they did it.
They have yet to get a playoff win this year. Mouse's third place decider doesn't count. It's not a playoff game by HLTV's counting. It's not a playoff game by my counting.
No. I wasn't gonna claim it was. Maybe. I don't know. I think the team looked terrible and they had a terrible player at that point, and the results were just sort of coming, and it was Donk and Shiro. Now they have Magix and they still look terrible, except the results just aren't coming anyway like they used to do before. And I don't know. I don't know what to do with that team, to be honest. I have no idea what to do with that team. I think it might just be time to call it quits for Donk and go somewhere else. Like, at this point, Donk club loyalty only gets you so far. How many prems have Harry Kane won? Yeah.
That's a funny analogy. I'll give you that.
Just go join Vitality. Just do it.
No, it is funny because, look, in the last 3 months of last year, they had Donk at a 132, Shiro at a 116, Tanir at 10 flat, Zwei at 0.94, and Chopper at 0.83. Now, reminder, they had added Zwei just to add Zwei. Like, that's what it ended up being. Like, they just added him to add him. It didn't end up working at all. There was a whole role imbalance. And instead of fixing the role imbalance people would come in and complain about, they also decided to fall for the fucking IGL critiques and just completely broke it again. Like, this is a very simple attempted fix. You have Chopper still on the bench on the payroll. You just bring him back for Magix. I don't care how much like Donk and Magix are friends. Like, doesn't really affect it, especially if being friends doesn't get the most out of Donk in playoffs. I watched his POV from that playoff game. It's not just that he was in the wrong position getting flash and stuff. He also didn't look that sharp. Took like 15 bullets to kill one guy. That's why he didn't get a double, instead of usually taking 6 and then having a quite clear 50-50 duel in the second, which is historically how Donk gets his multi-kills. He just fucked it. He looked like He didn't look quite as bad, but he looked basically like Immer taking a fair fight. Like, it just... Like, bro, why did it take you 16 bullets to get a body shot kill?
Yeah.
Like, that was dumb in that game. Like, it was awful. So if he's going to be trash, the calling's going to be trash. Just bring back Chopper, man. Stop wasting my time.
Okay, so your spirit, which you think might get better and bring the fight to vitality, is literally just the original lineup, but with Tenir over Magix, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, sure.
Honestly,
Tenir's not doing particularly hard at the Magix.
With Tenir over Zontix, I don't care.
Yeah, because I kind of like Magix in principle. I think he's a decent player. I'm not a huge fan of Zontix in general. Especially now he's still shit. Apparently you might as well have Magix. It's like a hard anchor kind of guy. And just...
Zontix is a confusing player to talk about because
yeah,
he's bad in certain ways. Very specific ways.
Yeah.
He's also really damn good in others. You know, he actually does do certain things super well. Like his timing, his anchoring, his decision making is admittedly a strength. Unfortunately, in a lot of positions where I see him, where he used to play, this is why when the Tenir move happened, I was all for it. You also need to be able to just go take a duel and win it. And he doesn't reliably do that because he can't shoot someone in the head. It's beautiful 40% headshot percentage since rejoining Spirit. God damn. But with negative swing, he's not even making the good decisions anymore. Like, I don't know, man. Just bring Chopper back.
Yeah.
Everyone's worse. Except Shiro. Shiro's got a 120. Chiro's thriving in the chaos.
Yeah, no, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's just, I think just how much is that actually going to move the needle, though? Is that actually?
It'll move it out of the gutter.
Yeah. But what's the point if you're still 2 changes away from like genuinely being the best team in the world, as they should be, with the best player in the world? Because I don't think bringing Chopper back is enough to fix this. Like, Chopper had like half a year with Tenir and it was nothing. Now Magix has had 3 months with Tenir and it's been nothing.
Quite half a year. It was
okay, 4
months. Period of time. Like it was.
Let's just say 4 months with Tenir, nothing happened. Magix is now at another 3 months with Tenir and he's still 1.02. And I think he's very skilled. Something's obviously wrong. And I don't think Zontix is a like team of the year level player in principle. I think Shiro and Donk are. Chopper, yeah, sure, maybe if he is that cracked in IGL. I still think you're 1 or 2 changes away from being that caliber of a team. So what's the point then in bringing back Chopper if you might as well? I'm not sure Chopper is that IGL. It's Chopper and IGL who could be team of the year.
Who could lead the best team in the world for a year.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% convinced, but what I know for sure is, last year, with Zontix and Zwei, Chopper won Cologne.
Yeah. Yeah.
He also won Astana without Zwei. But that's...
Mao's also knocked out Vitality.
Yeah. But we're talking about they have not managed to win a single playoff game versus last year.
No, I know. They're definitely worse. They're definitely
just a better team. Just a better team with Chopper.
Is it like worth going back to the IGL who wasn't good enough just because he was like if this feels like
better than the current one, so why wouldn't you?
This feels like Nemir going back to Lear.
Yeah, but again, what was the end goal is to be better. It is not, you don't make one move just because it makes you the best team in the world, or don't make it because it doesn't make you the best team in the world. There's more to the game than that.
Or just find a move or wait for a move becoming available which will actually make you that much better. Spirit have time. Like I would say they could carry on for the rest of the season with this roster. And yeah, maybe they don't win
Doc's going to be delighted, I'm sure, to spend more of his prime not only not being the best team in the world, but just not winning anything. He's going to love that, I'm sure. At least last year, he won 3 trophies. No, 4, including the second Blast Bounty. Like, he won 4 titles last year. That's something. It wasn't enough to get him the HLTV #1, but it got him the #1 for everyone else. This year,
if you bring back Chopper now, you're just you kind of resetting the clock. Then you have to wait for that roster move to see how that pans out. Well, you might as well just wait until that point then and make the correct move or make a better move.
So sit here when you know it's failed. Let it keep failing until you find someone else has figured out the Russian scene for you.
I don't know.
The best scouting org in all of CS. is now going to figure out who the fuck's better in the Russian scene for them. Like, come on.
I mean, we were fine letting Maus sit and make top 4s instead of winning trophies, while I was saying they should make a move to
Who's donk?
like move
Who's
the needle.
donk on this team? This is the point. There's no donk. There's not even a Shiro on Maus. This team has
No,
both.
No. But why? If we're fine with Maus settling for top 4s,
Because they don't have donk or Shiro. It's very
because
clear.
they're waiting for the perfect move to happen. Why can't Spirit sit and wait for the perfect move to happen?
Because there's a clear upgrade already available on their fucking bench. There's no one to pay,
like
no one to buy out.
5%.
5% was the difference between 4 trophies and 0. 0. It's like you don't get winning, I swear. Like my own country knows what winning means.
They won't win with Chopper. And also,
They won 4 titles with Chopper. You have no reason to say that. You're purely saying that because you don't want Chopper to be back on the team, because you've bought into the pure bullshit hatred of Hot Chopper that exists in the scene.
And Vonda's made a video.
I don't care. He could be the shittest mechanical player to have ever lived. He won 4 fucking titles. 4 titles last year. Just last year.
Yeah, I can actually put a
Bring
factual nail in this coffin. Chopper took a 6-month break from competing.
He'll be back the second you ask him. The
He
second you ask him.
literally took a gap year.
He said that on his stream after being benched.
He's off surfing in Australia at the moment. That's how much of a gap.
The second they ask him, he's back. There's no way. He's back. This isn't Chopper's benched himself. Yeah. I was tired of making tens of thousands and winning titles and competing at a high level. I just got tired of it at 25. I washed up and burnt out. Please let Magic take my spot. Fuck off.
What, he's like 29?
The second you ask.
They won't ask him. They won't ask him. He won't be back.
It's a waste of my time then. This team is just a waste of my time. A waste of everyone's time.
Yeah, it's a waste of Donk's time. That's what I'm saying. He should leave. He should leave. Vitality or Falcons would take him in a heartbeat. He'd win stuff.
Yeah. You go full Kevin Durant. Just go join Vitality.
Just fucking go go join the winning team. He's the best player in the world. He is the best player of all time.
That would be a more cowardly move than, I don't know, switching a player just to change region so you can get the major. Like, that would be the most cuck thing possible. To go join Vitality. They want an era on your head, so you went and joined them. I'm sorry, bro. How is the chair? Is the chair comfy? Do you like the chair?
Go Falcons and make $1 gazillion while playing with Monacy in that case.
Going to Falcons would actually take some balls, because it'd make no sense. The team would be pure firepower. It'd make no sense at all. But if you just firepowered your way to winning everything, that'd be fair.
Yeah,
I'd allow it.
Best part of that move, he replaces Kickstone. Tessa stays.
Yes. 4 entries, an orb, and a fucking prayer. Those comms, dog shit. Nothing is being said of any value.
Nobody high fives Tessas. Nobody fist bumps Tessas. Not even Zonic at that point. No.
Zonic's done with him. He's just like, fuck it. We're just gonna yell at him.
Zonic's not even in the room. He's in the chair watching. Like, that's how these games are gonna go.
Zonic's got the chair.
Zonic is in the cuck chair at that point. Yeah.
Oh damn. Anyway,
Spirit is a waste of time.
Spirit, if they're not gonna just call back Chopper from his fucking holiday, his forced vacation, then just give up.
What about like, give me a boomage, all right? How about that? I'm just throwing the idea out. Can we get anybody else instead of Chopper and try to achieve the same result?
I would rather you went and got Boomich than stuck with this. I'll allow that. As in, it's a better idea to go get Boomich than it is to stick around with fucking Magics who cannot IGL. Like, this team cannot. It's just worse. I remember some of the T-sides I watched under Chopper. They varied greatly, and some of them were abominations. Magic's is worse.
Yeah.
Outright. So yeah, go get Boomich. Sure. At this point, I give up.
Minus Shiro plus James.
As long as we also replace Magics. For a different rifler. Yeah. Bring in James. Bring in. Fuck it. Go off the fucking rails. Bring in anyone you want. I don't care. But James and another rifler over Magics.
I'll tell you one here. They just won CCT. Nickelback.
Right, now we're just getting retarded. It's already getting pretty weird. But
welcome back, 2021.
No.
Nafany was in that final as well. Hey.
No, thank you. Let's get into some other key teams to talk about for this event. 2 semi-finalists who had a surprising run, semi-surprising, surprising, yeah, a bit surprising. Some upsets along the way. A very interesting pair of teams. Those are the two teams that upset the two teams we were just rambling about, hating on. Foot and Astralis. Which one do you want to start with? I'll let you take your pick in terms of who you want to talk about, and I'll let you lead off on the topic as well. Go, fill my ear about one of these teams.
Astralis played an excellent game. I think it's very telling that Fuzi, when asked, said, yeah, the game felt very easy. I think that's very telling of how the game really was. And yeah, he was just kind of like, they were just probably just kind of on a roll. Like, they played very well, but they probably also felt the chemistry. Everything was flowing very well. All of this stuff. And Spirit probably had a very off day. Donk had a very off day. That's going to happen sometimes. But it's still a huge win. Like, I thought it was a big enough.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was big enough that they actually made it through in the first place, because they had some pretty rough games there. Like, they had to be, look, as much as FaZe are FaZe, there's some good players on there still, and like Astralis had to make it past that. That was genuine, like, a game which I thought was like, hey, ooh, this might be risky, and yeah they lose a map.
Bullshit right at the end felt, like when you go from 9-3 up to overtime on that Inferno. Yeah, you're Astralis facing Frozen, Twists, Karrigan with the magic. I was worried. I was really worried because I didn't want FaZe in playoffs. I wanted FaZe to go home then and there.
Yeah, and then they also go, like, it's a 2-1, but the 2 map wins are Destruction against Furia in the final game. Which is, hey, that's impressive enough. This run doesn't just start with the Spirit win. It's genuinely throughout the entire event, throughout the online stage as well. And it's impressive that they managed, like, it's an extra impressive step that they managed to beat Spirit in a LAN playoff game in front of a crowd. An actually decent-sized crowd as well. It was, like, it's a relatively small crowd. It's not an arena, but that's actually more people than I thought it was going to be. So, that's nice. That's a super nice game for them to have, and especially Fuzi he just keeps having these moments. This is why I don't understand why Fuzi hasn't been in like a near top op conversation. Why Fuzi hasn't really been in like consistently in that conversation, because he keeps having these games. He keeps having these moments where for a week people say Fuzi's such a good opper, Fuzi's amazing, Fuzi's this, Fuzi's that. And then they forget about him. And then the next game like that happens and it's, oh, Fuzi dropped a 130. That's insane, bro. That's insane. Why isn't nobody signing this guy? Then another week passes and people forget about him. So hopefully this time they remember, because this is who Fuzi is.
Yeah, Fuzi. I remember a lot of threads coming up on HLTV, and it's classic y'all don't know ball HLTV forums. You just don't, because there's a lot of threads talking about Fuzi being tier 3, so comments of Fuzi being like literally just not of standard tier 1. I'm like, bro, the standard of being in tier 1 is wank in a lot of.
I hear like genuinely experienced tier 1 personalities say that Fuzi is a bad opper, not just like a little middling, not just like a little overrated, outright bad. Yeah, and I'm like, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you people? Yeah,
like, how do you have that take? Like, he's not a trash opper, and especially if you watched him this year and you still have that opinion, man, your mind is broken. Like, you're just broken. I'm sorry. He played really well at Krakow. He played okay at Cluj. I mean, I think he played better than the rating ended up saying, I think. And then Pro League, he was very strong. Like, stage 1 very strong, stage 2 mid, stage 3 playoffs actually very, very strong. That was an incredible sort of third stage to smash Spirit, especially was incredible. I was a big fan of everything I saw out of Fuzi, but this Astralis team in general, I'm just shocked with how their Pro League went. Because something I talked about on the on Overcond, was Stare and his role in this team, and him being a star. There's a lot of like panic about Stare, about him being in star roles. No, he's not good enough in star roles. Pearl clutching, like, oh my stars, how could they possibly? So I firstly said, like, straight up, if your team isn't trying to be the best team in the world, if you're not literally on the best team in the world, like, you're not going to win the major. Look at the 5-man here, like, right? They're not going to be that good. But if you're just like trying to be solidly top 8, top 7 with Stare as your best player in star rifle roles, he's done more than enough to prove he's worthy of it. Like, this year to that point. Then he also goes and drops a 125 in the Pro League finals. That includes the third place game, unfortunately, which I can't filter out just of the general view of the year. But still, he had a really strong game against Spirit. He played a decent game against Aurora. Yeah, he did. Yeah, in the two maps,
Yeah.
either side of the absolute just demolition on the Dust 2. Like, this is just a team with good players in all 5 positions, pretty much. Like, sure,
Yeah.
mechanically, Hooksy's dog shit still, but he's a good IGL, and that's all I care about. Funnily enough, I'm consistent across the board. Just want a good IGL. Calls well, gets the most out of his team. He can have some fuck ups. Hooksy has fuck ups. Like, he has utterly horrendous T sides sometimes. The only thing that I could probably say is actually concerning me now with Ryu is just the slide of his form. Like, his form has just slowly slid down across the year. And that's a rating thing, but it's also noticeable because I'm like, there are certain games where I'm like, oh shit, yeah, like this in the Spirit game, he had some really impressive rounds and moments, but he doesn't put together the same kind of series that he did towards the start of the year. Maybe it'll take him a while to get embedded, because he is probably like the freshest. Like, he's quite young, spent a lot of time in tier 2, only just started making those sort of LAN appearances. Fuzi, technically new to the tier 1 space, was on wildcard, played a lot of real events, played against some big names and kind of got accustomed to them in a certain way. So I do think Ryu's probably the one who's probably going to have the most struggle in the long run. But I'm really impressed with Astralis, and I think they've earned sort of a solid top 10 team right now. Like, if I make a top 10, like, I don't think I have the resources ready. I could try and do it in the background to do my full King's tiers. They would probably sit somewhere around like the 8th to 12th sort of range. Like, they have been really strong, and they'd be one of the teams I'm most happy to put there. So, Astralis, it's just, good players in every position, and you win games. Who'd have thunk it?
I think there is something to be said for what Prof tweeted, which was, I'll just quote it directly. Let me just open it up in full so I don't just read this short version. Fuzi needs to tighten up his util usage. I counted at least 3 fairly important ones missed on Dust 2. This might be tied to the overall anxiousness this Astralis seems to have. Comms seem hectic, and rug guys on the mic asking people to stop tilting every other map, it seems. Which is not a horrible quote, to be honest. I can kind of see that, because when I listen into these comms and when I hear these like little clips, it does kind of sound kind of stressed. And to me, that feels like it's a new lineup still adjusting. And I think maybe Ryu suffers more than anyone from that whole thing, because he is maybe the newer guy who's still trying to get adjusted. And then of course it is difficult when you have teammates maybe tilting a little bit. But overall, I don't think it's a massive issue. It's maybe the thing that's going to hold them back from winning trophies, or maybe the thing which is going to hold them back from being a genuine top 5 contender, like top 1 contender. Maybe that is the difference maker in the end, which is something they'll have to work on long term. But for now, like, this team is going up. This team is going up. I see them making many more playoffs in this year. So yeah.
No, I don't have the graphics all set up, and also I looked at my last one. I was ahead of the curve on Astralis, for example. They're already tier 4, like, and it's a pyramid tier, so they were already in the top 10. So fuck it.
Yeah.
Just the one that changed from that one, if you go back to whatever episode we did that in, Foot are outside the top 10 at that point, and they were just in the still spicy tier. They'd probably bump up, probably G2 in that tier above them, come down. Like, that's probably the one switch you'd definitely make. You'd probably have another conversation about BC game, but that's something else entirely. This is a resurging team, and then Foot, or surging team rather. Foot is a team that, well, we had our clear narratives going into Pro League. And then we had the stats pulled up by B-Trams, I think it was, who did the stats about teams in close games and how much they win and lose. And it showed Foot in the close games lose, quite simply. Like, that was what it was.
Yes.
And, a quote tweeted it talks about, like, look, the two extremes are very clear. Like, when there's a close game and it's parry vision, they're going to win. Like, they just figure it out. When it's the longer the game goes, the more drawn out they can make it, the more tense they can make it. They tend to get it right. And Foot are the opposite. In late games and in overtimes, they've just struggled. Well, right after that, they closed a 2-1 series over G2 with 13-11 wins back-to-back on Dust 2 and Overpass. Overpass especially, a map where they have been struggling to close it out, despite playing it a fair bit. And then they go to playoffs. They play Mazen again. 2 maps, they win 13-11. They have just immediately answered it. And it's one of those things, it's like when Mongols were on the rise, right? And we talked about Mongols being at this new plateau. And, like, can they reach another one? Like, we interchangeably used plateau and level just in case they got stuck at it. That's what it felt like. And then they kept pushing it. And they finally reached their actual plateau some point during last year in terms of being yeah, they can be the fringe top 5 team. They win an event if the bracket's right, with maybe one actually good win. But generally, they're not actually a threat to really win events. They're just a bit of a dangerous team. Foot are in a similar situation now, where it's like, okay, they're cool. Oh, they got to this event. They're Navi Junior. Oh, it's fun. It's kind of chaotic. It's like next event's like, oh, they're playing better and more consistent, and it's getting a little better. And it got better and better and better to the point where now, yeah, they're even winning some of the close games against more experienced players. They're making playoffs, and in the playoffs, winning close games against more experienced players. Like they're just adding all these things. They're checking off boxes towards being a legitimate top tier 1 side, and it's astonishing to watch. It's outstanding. Jugs obviously had a great series against Na'Vi. They end up going down. They again win a close map but lose Dust 2 and Mirage, fairly one-sided. Launex's the only one who shows up. He's had a lot of excitement surrounding him. Yeah, they lose the 3rd place game. I don't care. No stock in that. But Foot, man, what is their final ceiling, do you think? Is there a clear ceiling for them in your mind? Is there a clear player you switch? Is it still Symmetry just, holding everyone back? Like, what's your take right now?
I mean, look, Symmetry is going to hold them back a little bit in the same way that I think any opera performing at that level will hold any team back, to be honest, at this level, especially as you go up, as they are doing. I'm very impressed by Lonix. I didn't think Lonix was going to do this well. I think when Lonix joined this team, my initial reaction was, why? But they went for it and it worked. Demon and Jugs, I only expect will keep on developing. Crabbenny, I think, will develop as an IGL. It might just be that an op change is all they need to be at least a consistent. I think it's too early to call if like Demon and Jugs are like players, or rather if this entire team consists of players who can consistently hang at a top 5 level, because I think that's not just a team thing. I think that's also something which like the individual needs to be able to do that. And I think we might be some ways away from that development from these players just yet. That being said, like a consistent top 10 team, like somebody who can hang up there long term, somebody who can hang up there in the same way that like Aurora and Mongols have done for quite a while now. Yeah, I see this foot team absolutely staying there without any changes. And if I'm making any changes, it might be Symmetry for an op upgrade to see if they can maybe more consistently get into these playoff scenarios. That might be it, to be honest. At this point, I don't have any question marks around anybody else. The Crabbenny is probably one of the better fragging in-game leaders at the moment as well, which is crazy to say. And he's doing it while playing a pretty damn good tactical game as well. That's something which I'm very glad is not as valued as it was once upon a time, having a fragging IGL, because I have an IGL like who can frag. That's so good for us, said people about Nexa in G2, and see how that went. But like that's still something which is like a nice bonus, and it kind of flies under the radar that Crabbenny performs that well while calling. So overall, I think this team can absolutely stay at a top 10 level. They could be top 10 for the rest of the year, and then we'll just have to see sort of where their ceiling ends up. I don't really have any indication as to where they might stop, so to speak.
Okay, yeah, no, I share some concerns, not in terms of Jugs, in terms of Demon.
No, yeah, they're not necessarily concerns. It's just that.
No,
they just haven't played at that level.
Concern. If we wouldn't talk about them constantly going up and up and up, there are certain things that are going to be concerning. And Symmetry's the easy, obvious one. Like, yes, I don't think he's
Symmetry's already a concern. Yeah,
he's really concerned for just this level, right? Yeah, but Demon's just. I think he's interesting. I think he still has a lot of potential. He could be like, if this team finds their top gear, like he could be like a bit player, like a bit type player in terms of some anchoring, some lurking, sometimes starring, sometimes in the pack, just filling a lot of blanks, and hitting shots and bringing firepower. Because he does have crazy aim. Like when he peeks you, fuck me, you're just screwed. Like a lot of the time, like you just can't. He's too quick, too sharp. But he does have some consistency worries across his like reactionary plays and shots, and he hasn't really found that much impact and that much consistency against a lot of decent opposition they've placed this year. Like, his ratings just haven't been crazy. His output hasn't been crazy, but he can have the occasional map where he showcases that aim and that sort of violence he can have with his aim. So no, I'm still a bit worried He needs to show me a bit more. Like, he might be my sticking point beyond just symmetry. But otherwise, yeah, you've got an excellent core on this roster.
Yeah.
Gravity has been, a phenom, as you've mentioned, with his fragging and calling.
Yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed this FUT team doesn't necessarily, they don't have to keep climbing particularly. Like, they can just be top 10 for the rest of the year, and I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Like, the occasional playoff appearance, the occasional playoff win even.
Yeah.
And we'd probably be very happy with them because they are so young, because they are so fresh. But yeah. By the end of the year, if they haven't made any changes, there'll be a lot of calls for very specific ones. And we all know, sorry, Symmetry, you're going to be the first to be called out.
Hey, I'm also just going to say, all of these players are 20 or below. Symmetry is 18 years old. Give it, like...
Yeah, but
it's not unrealistic.
I'm sorry.
No, but it's not unrealistic that, like, the development comes.
No.
It could just come.
It's not. Look, I can be wrong. But every other time, aside from fucking Muggsy Bogues, I've watched a man who's 5'4" play basketball. And I thought, he's not making the league, and I've been right every time. Like, there's one guy who's proved me wrong. And that's Muggsy fucking Bogues. And I don't think Symmetry's the Muggsy Bogues of AWPing. Like, I've watched.
I don't think Symmetry plays basketball.
That's not the point. That's not how analogies work. Thank you, HLTV. His AWPing just isn't there. Like, he's just not talented enough with an AWP in his hands. He doesn't hit enough shots. He's not good enough. Now, could he be a very good rifler on actually a fairly, like, respectable level? Yeah. Like, he could play tier 1.5 CS with a rifle as a support player. 100%.
He's just Hedrick. Shit on the AWP. Good on rifle.
less of a choker than Hedrick. I think Symmetry's quite clutch. But that's it. I don't think he's
the
AWP. I don't think he's got it.
Developments can come. With time, maybe like stuff can just click. Could happen. Maybe he adjusts his play style where like he's less reliant on those AWP rounds. Or whatever the case. I'm just saying, stuff could still change. We might be wrong about Symmetry.
Changing up playstyle stuff, like it's just no.
I'm
really an AWP upgrade will have to happen.
I'm really just saying that this is one of the reasons why this lineup should stick together unchanged. Every single part is already doing pretty good. Even Symmetry, I will still say, he is a liability, but he's not. They still made it here with him. Like they still made top 4 in ESL Pro League with him. They still beat Mouse with him. So I'll say that much. It's worth sticking it out with this lineup, letting them have stability, developing together, seeing how far these players come. And I'd be perfectly happy if they finish the year with exactly this lineup, because all of these players, in theory, should still have a lot of development to come. And there's no reason not to explore that. They're already pretty high up on the ladder. Let's just see how far it goes. Symmetry is probably going to be the first one to go, though. And I could see 100%. I could see that being a move they make either over the summer or like just before the Singapore major, like just before the cutoff. I could see it being a move they make that.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see how they feel about it, because there's always a difference in teams.
Yeah. Like everybody, probably except for Symmetry. We already know that pretty much everybody on FUT. They said that they had several offers for every player on the team. I doubt anybody was seriously asking about Symmetry.
It's like, we want your core, and they're like, what if Symmetry?
Yeah. You can have Lonix, Krebini, and Symmetry. How about that? But no.
More like, actually, to be honest, right now, I found the team. Demon Jukes and Symmetry?
Hella money. No, okay, but like, we know that they had those offers over the winter. I think the team said as much. I doubt anyone is asking specifically for Symmetry, but for the other 4, yes, I can absolutely imagine they all had individual offers from bigger teams and from different teams. And they not only did the FUT org reject those offers, but also the team just didn't want to make those calls because they wanted to stick together. And I think that's a good sign. I think it's a good sign that they have a group which they're comfortable developing with, and they're comfortable, like, chemistry-wise moving forward. And that's why I think Symmetry still has a lot of life left on his team, is because his teammates feel something, which is worth exploring. Wow, that's phrasing.
Okay.
His teammates feel that it's worth sticking it out with the team as it is, including Symmetry, for a while at least. At least they did in the winter.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into the grand final, which just concluded before we actually recorded. It was actually over. We were watching it during the members only behind the scenes segment. let's talk about this grand finale. Aurora versus Na'Vi, two teams we did not expect to see here, to be honest. Like, they were not my picks to be in the final. But hey, after Foot and Spirit goes down, yeah, pretty much this was the grand final expected. Like, based on the semis,
Yeah.
I kind of expected Na'Vi and Aurora to be here. I was hoping Astralis would actually find a way to beat Aurora. I thought Astralis would have been a more fun team. For me, personally, just in terms of the players in there. I'm not saying they would have given Na'Vi a particularly different matchup. Maybe certain aspects would have been different looking. Though I got a weird feeling Na'Vi probably have an easier time with Astralis in a weird way. But anyway, these two sides, both maligned for a long time for different reasons. Na'Vi, everyone's making endless roster move suggestions. Blade admitting publicly in an interview sometimes they don't have the firepower. And I'm like, yeah, you keep Imma on the fucking team, what do you expect? It doesn't help that Bit and Wonderful have just been all over the shop in terms of their level. Add to the fact that you got a guy who you know needs perfect setup to do anything. Like, of course you can have firepower issues. Like, games don't go to plan every time.
Yeah.
But in any case, they make the grand final, the semi-final where Imma drops a 158. Right? You know, I'm a hater. I have been for a while. I don't think he should be on the team. And I don't think even calling him a support player justifies the play, because I also watch the games. He's not a bitch support in the way a lot of supports are. He does get to trade a lot of people. He does get to play off other people's contacts with multiple flashbangs helping him, and still cocks things up a lot of the time. But he had a fantastic semi-final. Bit and Makazze have both played really strong games, so they probably still win without him dropping a 160, basically. But it does certainly help to close that series so convincingly. But Aurora on the other side, yeah. Losing a nuke to Astralis that was closer than I ever expected, because I don't really see Aurora as a great nuke team. But then utterly crushing them on Dust 2, like showing there's levels to the Dust 2 like the Astralis don't have, especially because Dust 2, you do need to hit your shots. And Woxic was on point, Zantares was on point, Wicardia was on point, Soulfly was on point. Like, Soulfly, honestly, is such a boon for this team, because he's taken to the hard support roles on this roster like a fish to water. Plus, he still has the aim of a legit entry. It looks nuts sometimes. So no, they're able to run them over on Dust 2. Inferno, it's again the Wicardia show. Like, Wicardia's just coming into his own.
Yeah.
Like, as a legit
really well.
sort of star level player, despite not having the star roles in this team. He's just been fantastic as a playmaker, a secondary playmaker. Yeah, then they face each other in the grand final. And yeah, we'll get into that in a second. But Quack, I said it. I think these are the two expected teams in the grand final after, you know, Mouse and Spirit get knocked out. Are you in agreement with me, or did you think there was an actual upset in the semis?
Expectation-wise, this is what was supposed to be the grand final, of course. I was hoping for a different result in both games. And I think it was, like ahead of time, I felt it was going to be pretty close. And that Astralis game was really close. Astralis had a 10-7 lead and lost the final map 13-10. I would honestly call that Inferno map a choke from them, all in all. Just because of that. I feel like Astralis could have found more rounds there, but Wicardia was just that good. Na'Vi Foot game. Yeah, Na'Vi were kind of in the driver's seat. That was probably the least close out of the two semifinals overall. Despite the 13-2 Dust 2, I still think the way that Inferno played out, it just as well could have been an Astralis series win. So Na'Vi Foot, that's more one-sided for Na'Vi, I would say. All in all. It's I would have hoped for a different result. I think if Foot could beat Mouse, they could obviously beat Na'Vi. I think was sort of what I was feeling. It was entirely realistic. I probably gave both of these teams like a 60-40. Both of these games I felt was a 60-40 for the favorite. So I don't disagree. But I would have hoped for the 40 in both cases.
Yeah, I understand the hope, but yeah, they are the teams that should be here in terms of, you know, caliber of team especially. But yeah, grand final 3-1 for Na'Vi. And look, Aurora don't get completely battered in all the maps they lose, but there's no close map, you know? There's only one 13-9. Everything else is more one-sided. Wonderful played a fantastic series. He looked loose in the grand final. You know what I mean? Like, he was taking little fights, and the flicks looked better. It looked like he wasn't feeling chained in the grand final. I'm not sure what changed about the grand final. Maybe it was playing against Aurora. There was a certain element of maybe predictability to how he should be taking fights and what he should be expecting to see. Because Aurora, their T sides a lot of the time do follow certain very predictable patterns. Maybe he felt well prepped going into this game particularly. He understood the assignment very well and also felt comfortable taking the right liberties. Because some of the fights he gets where he gets like 2 or 3 kills, I'm like, this isn't safe. This isn't, just take the easy shot and fall back. This isn't, punish a sloppy double peak, like with bad timing. No, this was actual style Rort play from Wonderful a lot of the time in the grand final. Obviously, he does have some help. Bit played a decent enough series. Makazze still played a very strong series, especially a crazy Dust 2 1v4. He's had some crazy impact rounds. He had a crazy impact ace in the semi-final on Dust 2 as well. But that 1v4 was incredibly cerebral. Like, there's one way to win it, basically, and he actually found it. Like, he found the right path.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was pretty impressive out of Makazze, that 1v4. But yeah, he was there for the ride, basically, the entire best of 5. And yeah, the story of the grand final does feel very much like Wonderful and Xantares. On the other side of things, Xantares shits the bed, is absent, doesn't hit any shots, leaves his team in the lurch. Here comes the death threats. Like, that kind of feels like the story of this game.
Yeah. That 1-on-4, it's like he just picks off the duels one by one. It's very cleverly played. Because he somehow ends up, he's in a 1-on-4 and he somehow ends up having to take only 1v1s in the duels, and he wins them in very nice fashion. So that was very nice from Makazze. He became the MVP, of course. Yeah, Navi won this, and the fact it's a 1-1 at one point is not at all unexpected, I would say, considering the fact that it was Anubis that they lost, right? Yeah, Aurora.
Yeah, they lose Anubis 13-11. I wasn't that impressed with Aurora's Anubis in the end.
No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, because Navi just flat out. It's not like they have a perma and that's overpass, but then Anubis is the other one they don't play.
Yeah.
So it was, and Aurora like it. Like Aurora play Anubis quite a bit. Have always done. So yeah, it's actually Aurora have a 6-1 on Anubis in the past 3 months, and Navi have a 1-2. And that being said, that win was against Aurora. So hey, whatever.
Maybe we should.
Maybe, I don't know. Whatever the case, it was that map was kind of always going to be like that, and I think Mirage has always been a very strong Navi map.
Yeah, it's been one that they've lost certain momentum on. Like, it's historically supposed to be their map, but look, they didn't pick it against Foot, but won it, and I think that inspired them to actually open with it in the grand final. But they've moved away from it. They've been picking Ancient. They've been playing a lot of Ancient and playing it quite well, because Makazze is a really strong Ancient player. But they have sort of fallen out of touch with their Mirage.
They couldn't go to Ancient in this one because of Aurora.
So they went to a Mirage and they played fantastic, and I think probably buoyed by their performance in the semi on it. But look, their nuke, I expect them to beat Aurora. I didn't expect Aurora's T-side to be so shit. But still. And then Dust 2, that's a tough map to win against Aurora. So it's very impressive their CT side goes that well. Shout out Makazze. Again, 157 on the CT side of Dust 2. And then on the T side, it gets a bit scrappier to close out the match. But again, Wonderful has some of his great rounds, like some of his big moments, some of his looser, more impactful plays, and that helps get them over the line. So Navi finding win conditions at this event that they haven't found in a lot of others. Like, Makazze being great in playoffs against strong teams and looking awesome isn't new. He was that last year. He actually wasn't really in the last playoff match they played in 2026. That's been the one blip in his sort of big event playoff resume. Actually was this year. But that's usually a part of what allows him to win. But Wonderful having this kind of game. Bit having a good playoff run. These are things they haven't been able to rely on a lot of the time. But they managed to get it. They managed to get it done this time. So I'm kind of thinking, is this like sort of the sparking of a stronger Navi? Not necessarily a title-winning Navi. I think they're very far off the pace as far as your vitality sort of comparison. But re-emerging as a legit playoff team could be possible off the back of this kind of run. Yeah,
talking about how many playoff wins Spirit have had so far in 2026. Navi didn't have many playoff games whatsoever up until this Pro League playoff. So very much, still not out of the woods. But it's a very nice showing. It's very nice showing, and especially doing it. I think honestly, especially doing it against the teams that they do, because they don't have. It's not the toughest bracket that they have. They have Mongols, Foot, and Aurora. They don't play like Falcons weren't here, and they weren't playing. Vitality was not here. They weren't playing Spirit. They weren't playing Mouse. But I think especially doing it against these guys, it's like a nice first step. I think maybe it's a very nice first step, and to be able to do that is a nice omen for the events to come, because these are the guys you're probably going to be facing in those like deciding group stage games, or in those early playoff games, in those IEM quarterfinals. So being able to do it against them more consistently would be very good for Navi to have in the future. So it's a very nice showing. But no, I wouldn't put them in any sort of title winning conversation in terms of the more real events that we have coming up, especially considering the fact that they didn't play Mouse or Spirit. So
yeah, title winning is a bit of a push, obviously, but hey,
yeah,
I'm liking at least how they looked here, and it's a much stronger.
Yeah, they looked good. They looked good, and I liked it from the players. Like I never really had any questions marks about Makazze, and I think Wonderful has maintained a pretty good level even with these group stage problems they've had. But it's nice that Bit is sort of back up there. It's nice that I think Ime can deliver like a floor level, which is good. We've obviously seen Navi win even without that floor level. They won a major with him being absolutely fucking horrible.
Stats, yes.
Yes, but it's nice. It's nice, and maybe this team is somewhat functioning after all.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, because 2026 was rough until this point, and that's what I'm saying. This has to be like the return to them, like being legitimately top 6, maybe like top 8, top 6. I'm not talking about them being top 5 and elite in any. I mean, sure, some of the elite teams are starting to fall off. Mouse, Spirit, for example, we talked about them earlier. Those guys have fallen off a bit. So the top 5, we had an elite grouping that kind of has slipped up. So maybe 5th in the world isn't out of the realms of possibility. It's just this year's just been prior to Pro League, for example, Wonderful's a fucking. He's almost a non-factor. Like he's a 102 sort of thing. Like he's way below his 2025 sort of level that we'd gotten used to, and that made him the 5th AWPer in the world. Like, he wasn't there, and this event helped spring him back up. But still, we need to see that stuff continue for them to be a relevant team in the long run. Aurora Xantares fails in the grand final. It's a lot of people have really locked into that. I've seen a lot of threads pop up. Everyone's just immediately thrown the book at him, and I assume as well his Twitter DMs must be very fun. I feel like he's been a bit hard done by, because yes, he plays a bad grand final. People are going to overlook the fact that he played a good semi, a solid enough quarter. Like, it's below expectations for him, but I still think he's had such a surprisingly good year, despite the fact that Aurora have actually been pretty mid, that I don't think he should be lambasted to this extent. Is essentially where I'm going with this. Like, I think he had an off day. He's been the only one who's had an on day all year for this team. I need more if they're going to be legit and continue and all that good stuff. But I'll let him slide on this one just a little bit.
It's fine. Water Aurora without Centaurs, really. Anyway,
21st in the world.
Major playoffs for Navi and Aurora? Question mark.
Navi, it should be a target now, a legitimate one, not just like this is our target. Like, this should actually be the target and the expectation we kind of hold them to. Aurora, not yet. They're still too limited.
I agree with that. Yeah. There's a good chance that Alexi V gets put on a 6-month probation because of tax fraud before then. But hey,
why is everyone so much? Like, tax is just
because he might not be able to travel internationally for 6 months.
Oh, I mean, in that sense, yes, that's more of a problem.
Oh,
like I just saw, I saw a lot of people like talking about how much they were so greatly offended by the idea that Alexi B might have made a mistake on his taxes. I'm like, bro, taxes are fucking bullshit anyway. Let a man
Go
live.
off, King.
Let
Go
a
off.
man live.
Go off.
Like, taxation is theft. Let a man live. Like,
Go off, King.
he
It's
shouldn't
your
have to pay
money.
anything.
Yeah.
It should be voluntary, based on your opinion of the government's policies.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's what you voted for.
Yeah. And fuck me.
There's an
Wow.
idea.
If I didn't vote for it, I shouldn't have to pay for it.
So hang on. Should it be that you pay tax for only if you voted for the winner, or should it be the opposite? You pay tax if you voted for the loser.
No. We completely democratize every policy, and in order to spend on that policy, your taxes go to it. If you voted for the policy, you have to spend your tax money isn't going there. You get taxed for that. So
yeah,
all of a
vote.
sudden,
And what if you don't vote? You also get taxed. To be honest, if you don't vote, you also get taxed. I think that's the solution to that problem.
Depends. No. Yeah. If you don't vote, you pay for everything. Like your tax rate goes through the fucking roof.
Yeah, yeah.
See, this is poli-sci right here. Like, this is a master's level. Yeah. You're welcome, lads. Mid-show, which gave you a quick.
We've fixed it. We've fixed every problem.
We have fixed politics. Wow. Gosh. Round
Every
of applause.
problem.
Round of applause. Let's wrap up our thoughts on Pro League. We've been here over an hour. Quack, any team you want to quickly touch on that you think deserves a bit of slander, a bit of praise? Like, who's out there?
Legacy won one more map than I thought they would. And that's nice. I thought it was genuinely over, but hey, they showed at least one map against Aurora. So that's nice. No, not in playoffs. I think
In general,
everybody else who's Mongols are just kind of uninteresting in this event, and Spirit and Mouse we already went on. Like, it is just Mongols and Spirit Legacy who are left. I think it's cool that they made it here. They didn't really put up that much of a fight against Navi, and try again next time. And then Legacy, yeah, they won a map. That's nice. That's the best they could have hoped for, I think.
Yeah, well, there was one final day of games from Stage 2 that we didn't cover on last week's retake.
Oh,
it hadn't happened yet. Like Tuesday's games, which were the
all right.
matches.
Yeah.
So I just thought we're not going to escape here without touching, or at least ripping into a bit G2 and Furia. Like, there has to be some.
G2 are trash. Furia are still. I'm having a lot of question marks. But also they did say ahead of time that, like, if we make playoffs, Fallen is not playing, and that's like,
yeah, that's just
how much are you?
I'm
not going to pull the
Zantara.
Yeah.
You turn You turn Caserato's brain straight off when you make that announcement. It's like, guys, no Fallen in playoffs. He's just like,
yeah. I'm not gonna pull the card of like how much were they really trying, but like subconsciously knowing that, like, literally the maximum you could have done, you could have realistically achieved in this event is make the playoffs, then you're subconsciously gonna settle for losing to Astralis. It's just kind of what's gonna happen then.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Unfortunate, but hey, no Furia, no fun in the playoffs. Bit funny, bit tragic. I'm just going to pretend they stopped caring and stopped trying entirely. And also funny, the last series they play of the event follows a classic pattern for them. They lose 2 maps, win 1. Guess who is fantastic in the map they win and not able to carry them in the maps they lose? It's Molodoi.
Molodoi.
And
amazing.
Yes, as per usual, we will all fixate on that and just walk past the fact that Caserado was pretty bad across the board.
Yeah.
Let's all just rip on Molodoi endlessly. But anyway, let's get into something else. Let's talk about some other stuff. Let's talk about some other games, some other events. We got a lot of small events, some VRS Cups to retake. VRS LANs, I've been calling them. We got 3 LANs that happened. Let's begin with one that's not ended yet, because Lord Almighty, that third fucking game is taking forever. HyperX Roman Imperium 6 is currently ongoing because OG and Ninjas in Pajamas are still playing their best of 3 grand final. It's halftime of map 3 with the score at 6-6, so we don't really have much to go off in terms of predicting the winner. But we can say this. Liquid were at this event and ended up finishing 4th. They lost to OG in the semis, who had just signed Body, literally just signed Body, and lost to OG in the semis, and then lost to Alliance. Specifically, Malo 9 dropped a 134 on their head in the 3rd place decider match. So not even 3rd place, 4th place, which I usually don't care about 3rd, 4th, but today I do, just for this one moment.
Yeah.
Fucking Liquid. This is them playing with JL standing in, and he has a better rating than Ultimate, I think, for the entire event. JL fresh off streaming, still better than Ultimate. Oh god, is he actually better than the entire event? He's the second highest rated player for the team on the entire event. God damn. Oh
Yeah.
man, this is a travesty. But yes, HyperX Roman Imperium Cup, pretty big deal for the VRS. That's why Liquid are here. I'm not sure what their actual end result is currently. I'm not sure we can know until all the games are done. But they might have,
in terms of,
might have improved.
Yeah, they probably improved. Mostly they just had to play, because they just had to play more games. I think the wins they've scored at this point, we're gonna get into why it sort of doesn't matter at this point. The main thing right now is that Nerds is off their VRS roster because JL has played five games with Liquid. That's probably the main outcome of this event for them. But yeah, we're going to get into why this event doesn't really matter in terms of their major qualification. But it's nice for them to get some reps, I guess. It's nice of them to get a taste of some of the teams that are probably about as good as them. Yeah.
Yeah, teams like OG, Eyeballers, Alliance. That's roughly the level of Liquid right now.
Yeah, it
is. It actually feels kind of mean to those teams. Like I think OG might be outwardly better with body. Alliance are clearly a better team, and they're 65th in HLTV ranking.
They are. Alliance are so good, man. I fucking love Alliance. But no, yeah, it's nice for Liquid to show up. Nice that Liquid didn't go out in groups. Like Liquid could have gone out in groups.
Yeah, they were 2-2 and they went through on round differential. Like they were not guaranteed to be in playoffs.
Fucking hell. No, it's it's just nah. This ain't it. It's nice that they have a new player coming in. I don't think it's going to be much of an improvement, especially considering like JL was like their best player.
Yeah.
It's dire. It's dire for Liquid. But yeah, honestly, maybe for me, the least interesting part of this event. I mostly just felt that they were an obstacle for the actually interesting teams, especially after the change they made. Final is ongoing. NIP have a narrow lead against OG right now in the grand final. Yeah. I'm going to say kind of a must-win game for both of them because both of them have a decent shot at making the major. And for NIP, that's because they've been like close to top 17 in Europe very consistently all year. Like they've dropped off compared to last year. They're losing games they shouldn't lose, but they've like stayed within the window, I think. So winning this game would be big. And for OG, they have a very low anchor because they basically played nothing since November. That's why they're like 80th in the world. And what that means is when they play these big games, those big games are going to swing a lot more on the ranking than it will, for example, for NIP. They got OG got 70 points for beating Liquid in the semifinal, and they're set to get 59 if they beat Navi. So that's why they, like, you might look at them, how the fuck does the 80th ranked team in the world have a chance of making the major when you need to be top 17 in Europe? It's because if they just win like a couple of key games, they'll actually swing very high up. So that's interesting. I enjoyed seeing Alliance, obviously. It's a shame they lost to NIP, but it's going to happen. I think that third place decider is still actually a very good win for them and brings them a big step in the rankings as well. They move up to 28th at the moment with another 25 points. That's big. It's the first time Alliance have ever been inside the top 30 ever in terms of VRS. And yeah, we had some other interesting teams. BC Game went out in groups. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, that's something we can't just touch on. Like, just we got to address it outright. BC Game attended this event, and they got a default win against Gringos, who didn't play.
Yeah, one of two teams who didn't show up. Yeah,
lost 3 straight best of ones to Alliance, Nexus, and OG. And you're like, Alliance and OG both made top 4 ones in the grand final. Your BC Game, you spent all this money on getting a core to get you cheated into the major, and you fucked it up so bad that you are currently well out of consideration for the major. Like, I don't think they can make the major almost at this point. Like, they need a stupid result at the next VRS LAN. If they can get another VRS LAN in, like, they can maybe they win the next VRS LAN they play. But at this point, this team looks like a travesty. Like, it's just fucked. So well, I can't wait for them to spend $15 million on Footscore to finally qualify for something again.
Wow. Do you know Simple got 2 op frags in that entire game? Wow.
Game.
Against Alliance.
Oh, okay.
Against Alliance, yeah. Hell yeah. Era is such a beast. He's so good. We have... there's a funny thing I heard when I was in Denmark, which is that for the first Parkin event, when BC Game were there, it was that the full team would only ever be together in the same space during the games. Outside of the games, they would eat at separate tables in the same restaurant, like the Portuguese guys and Simple and Electronic, and they would not speak to each other. It would be like they left the LAN hall and go separate ways. And this team is just, it's not a team. This team is not a team. They lose, I can guarantee you, they lose these games because of that. I mean, because pound for pound, I think these players in this team should probably be able to beat Nexus.
Yes.
Even with Crazy and Aragorn should be able to beat Nexus. So
they should have to play up to the level of Nexus. I wouldn't say Crazy and Aragorn are guaranteed to beat Nexus, but they should be able to play to the level of Nexus. That's a fact.
Yeah, so it's just this team is just broken, and it's seems very, very much like a toxic relationship that the inside of that team from what I heard. But yeah, OG make it through, big for them. Like I said, it's big for them to be in the final. It would be a big win for them to get. Gaimin Gladiators kind of do very well in their group. Liquid lose to them again.
Yeah.
Because they lost... Actually, no. They only lost a map against Gaimin Gladiators in Pro League when they knocked them out in last place. No, that was Semper Fi. Never mind. They did lose a series to Gaimin Gladiators. El Bozo! Bestia seems like they're still crap because they went on in groups after losing to Gaimin Gladiators. Yeah. Voca lost their major chance by losing to NIP, I guess. Eyeballers swept their group. Let's go. So good. GG How win their group as well. Over 9 and
must
M80.
Be stated. I'm sorry, I just gotta, because it pissed me off. These groups are best of one round robin. Like, I hate this group format so much.
Yeah, so do I.
So many of these groups are decided on round differential. Like Nexus won 3 best of ones. Well, they won 3-1 because they had a 1 pullout as well. But like they won 3-1, missed playoffs. Bestia 2-2, Lichao 2-2, missed playoffs. Liquid went through 2-2. Like I just hate this format with a vengeance.
It's even stupider than round difference because for some reason HLTV don't show it when they have the points column. But this event actually had a different points distribution, which is if you win in overtime, you get 2 points, and if you lose in overtime, you get 1. So it's actually even stupider than that. You can see that 9 finished second in their group, despite having 3 more round difference than GG How, and that's because 9 beat Rebels in overtime. So they only have 8 points rather than the 9 that GG How have. So it's even stupider than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, OG Alliance. I honestly have no idea how that works out because OG had... Oh, they had a loss. Yeah, they had a loss to Alliance. And Alliance had 3 wins in regulation because the forfeit counts as a 13-0. And then an overtime loss, so they got 10 points. So it's like 10 points versus 9 points. And that's how Nexus got knocked out with a 3-1 record, is because they had an overtime win. Yeah.
They got an overtime win over a team that made playoffs, so they went home. Jesus.
Yeah. That's honest. I think that's so stupid. It's such a stupid system. And I think Liquid go through for the same reason. Yeah, they had 2 wins in regulation. Bestia had an overtime loss.
Liquid had an overtime loss as well. So they got.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, they did. Yeah. Okay, so they actually went through on goal difference alone then. But yeah, or round difference. Fucking hell. Yeah.
I hate this. This is so bad. We really get to see the litany of like dreadful formats possible with the VRS system, like the VRS LAN market.
This is beneficial for a VRS LAN because it maximizes the amount of games you get to play if you show up here, which makes it very attractive for VRS reasons. If the full 24 teams signed up, you would be able to get your 5 placement games just by playing in the group stage and winning 1 game, no matter the result in the other games. Which is why it's attractive to a team like they weren't here, but like 100 Thieves are focused when they were just starting out. Probably that's why Olibet signed up. Oh yeah, etc. So there's a reason why we have these, and they exist because it's a symptom of the system. But yeah, the main VRS implications: Alliance in with a pretty good shot of making the major. I think as of yesterday's simulation, Mischief gave them 10%, which is an improvement of 5% from the previous week. And then after that, they beat Liquid in a third place decider. And also after that, they also beat 9 in the quarterfinal. So nice for them. OG NIP looks like they're winning. If they actually close that game out while we're recording the show, that's going to be big for them. Improves their major chances. Liquid showed up to this event with like a major to fight for. Now it's more, well, we'll get into that. And I think that's about it VRS wise. Nobody else is super interesting in terms of the VRS race, or in terms of the major race.
Okay. Yeah, that's the...
Voca lost their shot at the major, yeah.
That's a shame for them. But yeah, look. Pretty nifty little LAN. Let's get into another one that was very obscure. I don't think anyone watched this.
I have no idea.
Very few exceptions. Let's go to Allur Cyberland Cup. This was an event that happened out in Kostanay in Kazakhstan. And I believe the HLTV portion, I'm not sure there was another part. This probably is hidden somewhere away.
Yeah, there was a group stage. Yeah.
Features only 4 teams. Novak, Omega, Altai, and Depot. The reason I picked this up is just because of Omega's potential gains, like having some consequence sooner rather than later. As a Kazakh team, do they have to be European or can they be Asian?
Kazakhstan is Europe on VRS. Uzbekistan and pretty much every other country around Kazakhstan is Asia.
Yeah, which feels silly, but whatever.
It's quite funny how all of Iran is Asia, while all of, like, most of Iran lies west of the westernmost point of Kazakhstan. But anyway.
Yeah, they are a Middle Asian team, but whatever.
Yeah.
Should be in the Asian region, but anyway, they're not. But still, yeah, it ends up being won by Omega with Bot Pipe / Bot Pal. I'm not sure if that one's supposed to be an I or an L. In any case, he was the pick for Prospect of the Week last week, so I thought it'd be interesting to talk about them.
Okay. Now I see the relevance.
Yeah, Tony's a big fan. He didn't go particularly bonkers in this event, but still. It's worth noting, worth pointing out. Also, Novak lose a bunch of points. Novak with Neelan, with Icy, and with some Kazakh mainstays in Defizer, Pump, and Tasman. Probably would have liked to have won this. I mean, Omega have been probably the better form team, especially with Bob Pipe looking so good of late. He's an upcoming talent for Kazakhstan, aka the new Mongolia. But I wonder who coined that idea. I don't know. Must be a handsome dude, though. Anyway, yeah, a small event that, again, has some VRS implications. And of course, if we don't cover it, who will? Probably some Kazakh fucking podcast we will never listen to because we don't understand the language.
Yeah.
But shout out the Kazakh scene. I'm still a fan of seeing this sort of thing happening and seeing these developments.
Yeah, this is still Asian CS in the sense that, you know, what people mean when they say that. So probably Elfish Guy and them are covering this on Geographically Challenged at some point. If that podcast is still going, I don't know. I haven't listened in a while.
Well, it's just they don't have the most consistent schedule. Like, you know, we're every Monday. You know, it's happening. Like once a week, bang, bang, bang. They work a bunch. Like they get jobs and stuff. Like Elfish Guy goes to events. Like, I mean, overrated as fuck. I mean, getting paid to work in esports, it couldn't be me. So...
Yeah, see, that's not how you get ahead in the podcasting game. You know, I'll tell you that much right now. No. Fun LAN. Good, nice for these teams to get these games, especially for, I think Depot are still unranked, yeah, because they have a new lineup. And, they have Kideo.
Yeah, he
nice.
played with
Central Asian journeyman. Omega are starting to climb a little bit. They're into sort of that tier 2 mainstay layer, I think, now. But also, these teams are always going to be a bit boosted by the fact that there are just like random Central Asian lands that happen pretty much constantly. Like
they have
in
to.
Uzbekistan.
This is the thing that people underestimate. Not in Uzbekistan, in all over Middle Asia. Most of them actually happen in Kazakhstan itself. But the reason
in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan,
is because they have 100 ping to Asian servers. They have 100 ping to European servers. It's pick your poison. It's fucked. You need to play on LAN. So you either need to travel to one of the regions, or you have to have your own little LAN so you guys can keep sharp. And so they have a very extensive LAN network, essentially. That, I've uncovered parts of by accident whilst doing Molodoy and Alcaran research, but that I'm now keeping a little more track of, and I'm going to keep peppering into our show, especially because there's now some VRS reason to do it. Like it is something to talk about.
It's like my primary predictor for like why is a country good at Counter-Strike is how much do you play in LAN cafes, how much do you play in LAN, and in some countries that's just a culture. Like in Denmark and Sweden, coming up in 1.6, we just had like a bunch of those lying around, and like people would go to them, and like a big culture like that. In Mongolia, in Kazakhstan, and I guess in Uzbekistan as well, that's like where you have to go to play. Like that's why Molodoy Group, like he literally never owned a PC. He played out of an internet cafe for basically his entire career before joining Amcal or DMS when he joined them. So, yeah, there's these players might be good, and these events are what if they will be good. These events are what make them good. So keep an eye on this bot pal guy. Never heard of him before, but
yeah, I hadn't really looked into him until Tony brought him up, and I was like, okay, fair.
Yeah.
I give Tony his credit. He brought something fresh to the prospects scene in that sense. And finally, one that I didn't realize had happened. I honestly missed. I was looking at this stuff yesterday. I didn't check the dates properly. But DFRAG Wildcard LAN. This is an event in Brisbane. What makes you laugh about this?
There's only one notable thing from this, which is that Texta got in a fight with somebody and got a 6-month ban.
I missed that entirely. You need to send me a link or something. Who did Texta get in? Was it fisticuffs?
Supposedly, he called one of the Ground Zero guys a fat F word, and then because he was shooting bodies, because apparently, for whatever reason, I can't figure out. Pro players get so insanely pressed about shooting bodies, despite the fact that they all do it. But that's like, I don't know. So he stood up and yelled at him, and then apparently Vision came over to talk to him in between the maps, and yeah, they got into a fight. And
Who's Vision? The player. Okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah, Vision on
Ground
Zero. No, neither did I.
Vision. He used to be on the hot version of Semperfi. Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Gay,
he was.
I'm not gay.
He had actually. That's kind of my haircut that he had back then. Now he has more of a.
He looks more Australian now.
More employed at this point.
Also, yeah, probably.
More of an employed look. So that's the only reason I knew this LAN was happening was because fucking Texta got banned.
Yeah, I mean, he only plays one map of that game, and clearly, there's a reason for it.
Yeah, that was enough. Dude, there's an interview with someone who was called something like Orange Z or something like that, who I'd never heard of. And I saw people post it afterwards, which was like a pre-event interview for some Australian LAN where he's sitting in a couch and he's like, pretty excited to play against Texta. I know I can get her under his skin. You know, after map 1, I'm going to have him so tilted. It's like, yeah, clearly this guy fucking tilts.
I mean, bro, really? Body shooting? Come on, man.
That's enough to get you. Man. Like, I can understand that, like, Makazze leaves an offhand comment about that against Zwei or whoever the fuck. But that gets you fired up enough where you go over to fight a guy. It's just so fucking pathetic, to be honest.
I'm gonna be honest. If I'm tilted enough to if you're shooting bodies, to call you a fat F word, seeing as we are cucking out of that one. If you then come over to me to have a word, fuck right off. Mid-game and you're a player on the other team, I would probably throw hands with you as well. If I'm already that pissed off and you're like, oh, I'm going to go have a conversation. Like, who are you, my fucking mum? Shut up. Get dropped. I'm sorry. What? You're playing a competitive video game. He's behaving like a child. Let him behave like a child. Why are you trying to walk up? You're not his mum. You're not his mum. You're younger than him as well, Vision. Like, fuck off. I would also.
I think Vision knew what he was doing. I think Vision knew what he was doing.
He was being a. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Vision played some pretty high level sports. He's Australian. They all play sports. He was a pretty good in some physical game, not like cricket or some other wanky sport. Like he played Aussie rules or rugby. He's got a little shit in him. Like
I think maybe Vision was like, fuck, this takes the guy. He dropped 24 in the first map. I know what we're gonna do.
And he got really tilted. I'm gonna give him the micro fringe rant.
Whew.
That
So
is crazy.
funny.
But anyway, there was a real reason why I put this in the notes because I didn't know that was a thing. So yes, quite importantly, Semperfi make the grand final. They do end up losing to Thunder from Down Under. Or just Thunder Down Under rather, no from. Almost impossible to say Thunder Down Under without putting on the accent. But yeah,
Thunder Down
they end up
Under.
losing 2-1 in that grand final with Keen and Shady trying their hardest, but again, not being quite good enough. But that does have a significant VRS ramification, with them going up to 84th in the global VRS off the back of this event, finally winning some LAN games, which they failed to do in Europe quite impressively. And that actually brings them quite high up into the Asian rankings. If you look up their actual placement right now, in Asia VRS, they are 4th.
And Thunder Down Under, a 3rd.
Yeah, so I didn't even realize that because I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, they're both as of now. They are both in the major,
which is genuinely pissing me off.
We have 2 weeks to go. I'm sure.
And I'm assuming the Mongolians, the Chinese, are going to do their own version of this and then leapfrog them again. But this is so tilting. There's not a single good team at this event.
Are you saying that you don't want Dexter, Liaz, and Alistair to play a major in 2026? Is that what you're saying?
Of course I don't. Don't want any of these teams at this event. I think VRS lands should be limited to EU only.
Man, I want Semper5 to play the major. I want Semper5 to play the major. They almost beat Liquid. They should have beaten Liquid.
Who doesn't beat
Ooh.
But no,
at
anyway.
This point, yeah.
This does kind of annoy me that there are these massive VRS implications to the point where these two teams are top 4 in Asia off the back of just this. It's tilting. They probably will get leapfrogged, as I said, but still. Madness. Absolute madness.
Yeah, let me check. Like, do the Huns have an event lined up? Yeah, tomorrow starts the ESN National Championship, which seems to be in Ulaanbaatar with the Huns and Chinggis Warriors and Nex Void.
This is a ranked event, purely Mongolian. The
Mongols
Huns,
Academy play their first game.
Oh, yeah, nice. The Huns, Chinggis Warriors will leapfrog them again, just off the back of this event. Like,
pray
almost
for 5-star to upset them. 5-star in Mongols Academy to upset them and knock them out in the last place.
They definitely won't.
Thunder Down Under. Imagine Thunder Down Under stickers. That'd be sick. Honestly, at that point, they should just switch to Rooster because it would just be funnier for the cock to be in the major.
A cock major, yeah, that'd be lovely.
The cock, yeah.
Those are the VRS LAN updates that we have for you. Just some pretty big shifts and swings, so we had to mention it. Let's get into another little VRS switcheroo. Liquid. They swap players, and now we will probably talk about it more extensively in terms of the players on the Eternal Shuffle portion, although we're already quite long into this episode. But let's talk about just what they did, how it worked, and if we should be mad or not. Quack, tell me, should I be pissed off about this? Like, what the hell is going on?
They signed Mobs MD in a swap deal from G2. Nerds is going the other way. This means that when Liquid play their 5 games with Mobs MD in the 2 open lands that they have, there's a slight chance that if they go last place in both, they won't get 5 games, which would be very funny. And then they'd have to play the major with JL, which Navi just wouldn't do, or just like force it the major. No, they could still get in the major with him as a sub. Never mind. But anyway, whatever the case, no, they wouldn't make the major because they need the wins. They still need the wins. In any case, they have Mobs MD now, which means they have 3 North American players. Ish, Naf, and Guatemalan Mobs MD, which means they're going to be on the Americas ranking, which means that they take a spot away from one of the Americas teams. And if you're American, then maybe you should be pissed. I still don't really see why they're so upset about this. Why I didn't see people be this upset when Wildcard played with Stewie to get an American major spot. I saw some people say, "Oh, that's bullshit," whatever. But it's not about specifically the fact that they're trying to be on the American ranking, because this is an entirely legitimate thing to do. There's nothing stopping there's nothing stopping like any American team to sign like an Asian majority. You have like, I even see like fucking, what are they called? Akimbo, who have 3 Mongolian players living in the US. I even saw them like a couple of major cycles ago specifically requesting Valve to move them from the Asian ranking to the American one because they are not an Asian team. It's like they could have done the opposite. But whatever the case, I just think it's silly. And especially I'm upset because supposedly, according to VRS expert Mischief, there is a way for Liquid to have done this without switching a single player through just an exploit, and that would have pissed me off. But also, I would have been like, it would be so exciting if they did it. Just like full bullshit. Yeah, you're all gonna hate us. We're just gonna exploit the way you've written this code, and make our way into the major that way. But whatever the case, this is gonna be in the TLDR coming out tomorrow, and I think Sam wrote it this way. But he finished off with. Whatever the case, what Liquid have just done won't happen again, which I thought was very nice phrasing, so I'm going to steal it. And you can read the full thing tomorrow. Or today. It's already out. It's already out today. On Monday. TLDR. What I was going to get to, if you're American, you should be pissed. You should not be pissed. Because you, as much as we think Liquid are shit, you probably still think that they are better than the 10th best American team. For you, this is
best American team.
For you, it's like, it should Liquid or Marsborn make the major? And you would say Liquid.
Ooh.
As much as we are tier 2 enjoyers, I think you would still prefer Elige to play the major over Wolfie.
If you make it that simple a comparison, yes. As far as who I'm more excited about watching right now, it is actually just Marsborn. Just as far as storylines, the flow of the scene, this is a team who are. Look, we're talking about Marsborn, a team who are grinding, making their way up, proving the legitimacy of NACS, of the scene, like going abroad to events and doing well, playing against not just American shitters and playing well, but playing well internationally. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's that. Liquid, who are loaded with big names, but who are not well composed and are utterly checked out in certain ways, just plummeting down the scene. I don't want to see them still make it to the major, despite that. All right. I don't care for them. I don't like this. Actually, yeah. If this had no repercussions as far as major qualification, well, just talking about would Nerds fit on G2, would Malbs fit on Liquid, how the rebalancing would work, I'd have a wonderful time having this conversation. I'd be joyous to talk about like the actual Counter-Strike of those players. But the fact that I now have to be like, oh, they've dodged their own failures. They're failures, to be clear, after having these big names, by essentially like, if this was a draft, they've essentially pretended to be gay to get out of it. Like, that's what you've done. Like, you've pretended to be something you've not wanted to be for years, like constantly becoming more and more European to the point where you were just an EU team, and now you've dodged that just because it was easier.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So
I see the point.
Fuck 'em.
I honestly thought you would have more of the opinion that, like, no, this was a fair play. It was always in the rule book. They could always have done this, and they should have done this. I'm
not one of those cowards who's like, oh, it's in the rules, guys, so it's okay. Like, no.
All right, okay. Because this was always the right play for Liquid to make. It's like, it was very stupid of them to like try to grind it out when you could just have a free major spot by signing a US or an American player. In terms of a management sense, that would have been dumb if they didn't do it. So it makes a lot of sense that they did it. I don't particularly like it either. I love Marsborn. I love Wolfie. So it would be nice to see them to see them get there. But a lot of people are upset right now. I think a lot of people just also don't really understand what they're talking about, though. It's a little bit. People think that this is some sort of crazy exploit, which has come out of left field.
Yeah, that's we knew this was possible for a long time.
Teams have been Why are people not upset about Passion UA being in an America's ranked team? And they have 2 America's players. Like, why are people not upset about it? No, but that's even more bullshit. They only have 2. Liquid at least have 3. Like, why are people not upset about that? Nobody's upset about that. Is it because they're a legitimately good team? Like, it doesn't matter. They wouldn't have made the major if they were on the European ranking or the Asian ranking. Oh, okay, Asian ranking probably, but on the European ranking, they wouldn't. So why are people not upset about that? That's I also sort of feel like people are saying that like this is some insane stuff, but no, teams region switch all the time, or it has at least happened
rarely
several
so
times.
clear and overt and clearly intention. Like the intention on Passion UA
Yes.
is you've made 2 upgrades and you've now basically regionless entirely, and you've stuck with what you already were. That's not a big deal. It's not like Passion UA at the death have gone, you know what? We need to be back on the Americas ranking. Let's re-sign Nyx and drop some whatever the fuck player, like some European or something, just to skirt the rules and get away from it. Like they have they've not wanted to be North American explicitly.
No.
And they have now come cowering back. Like it's shameful, honestly.
Basically, the only time I think that has happened like that intentionally was Wildcard with the Stewie thing last year. Yeah. Yeah,
mess at that point though. Like,
they were already messed. But they very specifically played an event with Stewie, knowing that they were probably going to lose with Stewie, instead of their Star Hopper, just to make the major, not believing they would make it in the European ranking. But then that was also despite the players themselves saying, no, we can make it through the European ranking. We want to fight for it. And I can only imagine that the Liquid players feel the same way. At least I've lost all respect for them if they don't. Like, but yeah.
If they haven't, it's over. Like
the biggest chance of the biggest bit of karmic justice that could happen now is that they don't get their 5 games. They go out in last place of both the open lands that they have, and
that would also be shocking. That'd be shocking.
Yeah, that would probably mean that they don't make the major because those losses would be heavy enough points wise, and they still need some points to make it into the Americas ranking because they're still competing with like South American teams and stuff. As much as some people seem to think about it as like this is the America ranking, but no, it's like 7 out of the 10 teams that make the major will be South American, most likely. So yeah. Anyway,
it's just about screwing certain teams in a certain spot.
Yeah.
That's the real complaint.
Just silly things happening.
Yeah, regions should be declared once a season and should not be changeable.
I just remember they cannot make the major, no matter.
What are you talking about now?
Okay, I'm confusing myself because Mobs is on G2's roster, but the thing is, the G2 are also playing random lands to get rid of Mobs and put nerds in. So then it's a nothing thing. I think they can, if they still qualify, they can put Mobs in as a sub, but they still need the wins to qualify, I think is the bottom line.
Okay.
Yep. That's about it.
Yeah, let's get into something else. Let's talk cock. You like cock.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for Cock of the Week, the part of the show that used to have an intro, but that has been lost to the sands of time. Maybe one day we'll come back.
I was going to say that.
Let's get into it. Cock of the Week.
Yes, it's also Liquid for an entirely separate reason.
Just shit on Liquid today.
Today, literally today, or yesterday, I guess, when you were watching, or maybe 2 days ago if you're a day late. Polol posted a joke on Twitter, which was a screenshot of Liquid's scoreboard after the game against OG. One of the maps, I think it would be, considering this stat line. Ultimate and Shui are at the bottom with a 0.70 and a 0.52. 9 and 8 frags respectively. And the caption: does this ruin your SEO, or should I just read out the caption?
No, read it. Read it.
All right.
I
Ultimate
say
and Shui
all the time.
No, okay, but I don't know. That's why I didn't want to drop the F-bomb earlier. I wouldn't want to do that either way, but like, it's your channel. I won't. Ultimate and Shui are like Hitler and Goebbels, is what he said. And I'll throw my hands up and say that's a joke in poor taste. I'll say I'm not particularly fond of that joke in principle. I also think it's par for the course for CS Twitter. We have significantly worse. We have significantly joke, like fucking Maui Snake put the Hitler dead headline thing when fucking Electronic was benched. Like this is not like, I think it's in poor taste. It's not a new thing for why did I go blurry all of a sudden? Anyway, it's not a new thing for CS fans and personalities to liken players to characters of 1940s Germany. So Anyway, the actual cock goes to Team Liquid CS's social media manager, because you obviously haven't spent a second of Counter-Strike Twitter. And they replied to this tweet saying, hey, I'm thinking that this is like an HR manager. I'm thinking that this is the tone that they're going for. It's like the HR person coming into the room and saying, hey, we understand being frustrated about losses, but this tweet is way beyond out of line. Take some time to read about the Second World War and the effects on Poland, brackets among others, instead of watching the next CS match. Hopefully when you grow up a bit, you'll realize how inappropriate this was. Thumbs down emoji. And then Polo replies with, honestly, okay, this is just flat out funny. Oh, I didn't know Hitler killed people. My bad. And he quote tweets it as well with the following. I have to find it. He quote tweeted it with another one, which I think was just way too funny. Which was, yeah, you're right. Hitler killed way more than 17 people. I'm sorry. It's still in poor taste. I wouldn't make that joke. But like, that's just kind of smart. That's just kind of smart from him. And I understand what they're trying to say. It's nice for Team Liquid social media manager to try to be a positive force in the Team Liquid fandom on social media. But you have no idea what you got yourself into, bro. I just don't. This was an awful move through and through as soon as you hit reply. As soon as you hit the reply button, this was an awful move.
Of all the jokes, to have your little HR boss bitch moment, Liquid SNM. that really? Come on. That's so tame. That's so tame. I mean, it's not the best analogy either, to be clear. I mean, Polo does need to do some research, but he needs to do the kind of research that I would do, or that my flatmate who has nicknames across every platform. Like, he has some outrageous nicknames on every gaming platform. Like, with some deep lore. Like, he could have found some more specific names.
You would have been like, no, actually, Shui's more like this guy because of his personal attributes, and he was known for being this sort of character. That's the kind of
there's some better Nazis to find. You know, hit him with the classic. I guess Shuhei is a bit of an entry. It takes the first contacts. Could have called him Andreas Boril, you know, first man to die for the cause.
Jesus fucking Christ. That's a deep pull.
But that's the kind of pull he should have gone with. That's the cultured pull. But instead he goes mainstream big hits, you know. He's talking about country and he went with fucking what's his name? Post Malone. Like he was talking about that album like it's a big country thing. Like, I get it. It's a hit. It's popular. Everyone knows the name. It's not really the core of the issue. It's not the analogy we needed. But hell, let's get back to the real cockiness, which is why? Why did Team Liquid's SNM decide to get involved on this? Why did they bother? Like, Palup is a shitposting account. This isn't like some big media member, like let's say a massive podcaster. Let's say not me, but like someone who's like on HLTV's podcast, like Prof or Striker had made a bad taste joke, or someone who's on desks had tried to say something. Like let's say Casado Yanko had made the wrong comment on the wrong topic. Like, I'd get it if they were that kind of figure, but it's Palup. It's Palup.
Yeah. He's a streamer who I think will reach like 100 viewers or so when he plays the game. And that's, in terms of, look, okay, social media is a job for some. But in terms of doing something real in this space, that's what he does. And I genuinely like the guy. So, but no. I have reason to believe that Liquid have recently switched social media managers. Mostly because of the way that they've worded their posts recently, and mostly because of the way they've framed things. And this is really just more fuel for that fire. Whoever this is new to the job, and has not yet figured out how to do said job. And to be honest, slightly unfairly, I realized that they had good intentions. probably has gotten told off from inside the Liquid camp about making that reply. I get you were trying to do a good thing, bro, but
good thing. What good thing? What good thing?
He was trying to be nice. He was trying to be protective of the players, you know. But also like fucking.
These guys are gonna have death threats in their DMs. They're gonna be bothered that Paloop made a shitty
comparison. No, but the intention. But I mean his intention. He tried,
nothing.
or they tried to do a good thing. They tried to do a good thing for their players. It's only made it worse because I can guarantee you. I've seen people tweet about this all day. I've seen Fi post about it. I saw Prof post about it. I saw like a bunch of like big CS people. I think Prof I think retweeted something. More so than actually made a statement. I think a lot of people now feel that they need to have an opinion on it, which would not have been the case if Liquid didn't reply. This tweet would have been another part for the course Polo tweet, which is just the ones where he called Spinks and Xertian Zionists. Just those same kind of jokes. In which again, it's like, yeah, it's over a line, but like it's just why do you reply? Why do you engage with it? You're only giving it even more. Like we're only talking about it because you guys replied to it. So this week's talk of the week goes to Liquid. Not because of some bad intention or for some for some opinion, which we disagree with. More so, just that was a very stupid move. Very stupid fucking move.
Just can't. The tone of that fucking message, I just can't. I'm sorry, I just can't.
No.
Why? No. Who wrote this for you?
I think this is a new social media manager. I'm 100% sure because I've talked to Liquid social media manager before, specifically about the fact that they did not like Heroics and NIP's social media tone, which is like the more playful one, the one where they joke about each other, where they roast each other, where sometimes they make a joke, which is a little bit unprofessional. And they don't like that at all. So, and now they're making this kind of reply. They absolutely would not make that reply. This is, I would not be surprised if this is not even the social media manager. This is just some manager or somebody in the team who has to log into the Twitter. And it was like, now I'm gonna keyboard warrior. Like this could be Joker Steve for all we know. So yeah. Very fucking funny. It's also extra funny. Like read up on the horrors of World War II said to a Czech person. It's also very funny.
Yeah, the optics of American org tells European to read up on World War II. Like, bro, we actually have history classes that we actually attend. It's all good. We know the deal. It's fine.
Just read up on what Germany was doing after December 1941.
Oh, God. Yanks. Anyway, let's get into the Retake Games. Something a bit lighter. Hopefully, during the Retake Games, we will not have to reference the Nazi
who am I thinking of? Who am I thinking of? It's not Goebbels.
Cross that one off. Oh, God in heaven. Right. Retake Games, Quack. You've got a hot or cold, but I don't want to start with that. I want to start with my game, which is a draft. Now, it's a no-star draft. So I've put some basic instructions in the document for you to read, so you understand what I mean. Yeah. But yes, we can't draft stars. So that's the star rifler of a team, the star rifler of a team, or the AWPer. Now, we're going to use ready.gg article written by Luz Reposa as our reference for who counts as the star rifler for teams. Because there's a lot of them where it's really weird as far as who is and isn't. And there's other teams where it's like, if I just said the team's name, you wouldn't instinctively give me an answer, necessarily. So we're going to refer to that document as our sort of, our point, our line for who are star riflers and who are not. Especially because AWPers are pretty obvious. And we're going to draft teams. So you're going to need, just ahead of time, just a heads up, you're going to need AWPers, you're going to need IGL, you're going to need openers, closers. We're going to try and fill out roles. So IGL, ideally. Right. Opener, closer. Support is vague. We'll go support / whatever you need to fill in, right? Support / fill. And IGL.
Right. I see. But I cannot draft actual AWPers.
No. No, you need someone who's a dope second AWPer, who's not also a star rifler. You need
Yeah.
some role player who's doing it or done it. Like you need to find some other way to find an AWPer.
Do you want to go first or should I?
Your decision. I know the game. You know, I had the thought first, so I've probably got some mental prep ahead on you. So you can go first. You can go second. Don't care.
Yeah, I'll go first and I'll pick Apex for a caller.
Take Apex IGL. Okay. I'm going to take one of the most difficult positions to fill with an actual player who makes sense. I'm going to take Fallen to AWP. That's an actual AWPer. And guess what? He's not my IGL on this team. Turns his brain entirely off. He just AWPs.
Yeah. No, I think we both made good plays there. I think getting the IGL roll out of the way is like the only one maybe you can really do one for one. So I think I did a good play there. See, okay. Now, so we're doing like opener, closer, and all that, like you said, yeah.
Opener, closer, and then support / fill. Like, so if you have a closer who's on a support, he's sort of closer, you can go with a different type of fill player.
Yeah. I just need to check one thing super quick. I'm pretty sure I have the perfect play. Perfect play. Just need to check one thing. Let me have Tenier as... Yeah, I was gonna go opener, but I don't think he is that much of an opener player, or was on heroic even. But he would still take a lot of like these proactive fights. Let me take Tenier as a closer. Tenier is my closer.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Why not? I had some interesting ideas in this position to what to do. I'm going to go closer. Queserato. Second star of Furia.
Oh, so second star is valid.
Yes,
right, yeah,
said so.
fair.
It said as much.
I'm sorry, I missed that. In that case, it's a no-brainer for me. I'm taking Nico as my opener.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't hate it.
I think this is a pretty good move. This is a pretty good move.
Oh yeah, I did say it in the rules. I don't think I said it out loud. We're only going one player per team, so you can't have multiple Fury players on your team. You can't have multiple Mouse players, multiple whatever.
No, hang on. You have Fallen in Queserato.
I just realized that as I said it out loud, as I vocalized the rule, I realized what I'd done. Yeah. So I have to cut Queserato down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll replace him with. You know what? I'll go with Cardia in that role instead.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That is pretty good. So I have Apex. I have Apex, Tenier, and Nico. Yeah. I'm just thinking.
I need an opener. I need a fill. I need an IGL. IGL I can wait. It doesn't really matter. You know what? Who's available? Yeah, I'll take on my openings. I think this is about as good as it gets right now, especially in the scene. I'll get Flame Z.
Yeah.
That's my opener.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, now which way do I take this? Okay. I'll take NAF as my AWPer.
Oh,
going back to 2019.
NAF AWPer, okay.
Going back to 2019. He did it a bit.
He
Nitro did more of it.
touched the AWP. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Here. AWP, closer, opener. I don't think I need to desperately go rushing into my IGL, so I can try and look at fill players. See if there's anyone who's kind of supportive. It kind of fits them. Because I have a true opener. My closer is a bit aggressive. Like, he's going to take some CT opening spots. So I need an actual support as my fill. I can't just get creative with it. So you guys actually can support the team. You know what? I don't have a mouse player. Give me Jimmy.
Not bad.
Ooh, actually, do I want Jimmy? Hold on. Let's hit the timeout button. Do you know what I think could actually make work in this team? Yeah, okay, I'm doing it. Heavy God.
See, that was one of the plays that I was thinking about for a support spot.
So I looked at G2 and I saw Malbs is technically the support according to the role system that Ready.GG have come up with through Sam Carter, Luz, Resposa, whatever he wants to go by now, officially. But Heavy God does fit in terms of the roles he plays on the server, what I need right now, I think. So that makes more sense for me.
I don't think that's a bad play. I also have the support spot to fail. I haven't touched this team, so I'm just going to go for Yuri.
Yuri, okay.
Yeah.
Right, now I need an IGL I'd go anywhere with this. Whoever the best IGL available is, I can take.
Yep.
Problem is, the best IGL available is currently probably, if you look at the list, like of who's available, who's in it's Hooksy in terms of form.
Yeah, it probably falls
Alexi
on
B.
Hooksy.
Otherwise, no, actually, Alexi B has
Hooksy,
just had a
Alexi
pretty
B.
good run. I don't really like the majority of them. The other option that I've been considering, neither one of us has touched this team, and that I was considering using if it made sense, but the way the draft has gone, it's not. Was Foot and Crabany. But the problem is, I have. No, actually, you know what? Flamesy does play a few anchor spots. Does give up some space to his IGL, Apex, in certain maps. I'm actually going to take Crabany to call for this roster.
Yeah.
I think I've got firepower up the wazoo. Now, the important part is as well, I have fallen on the AWP. So as a secondary caller, a voice, a stabilizing force, a bit of actual experience, that's a great mix because I've got a young, fresh IGL who frags a lot, who does a lot of chaotic shit. Give me the AWPing Godfather to just be the voice of reason. I think I love my balance that I've struck. Your team, Apex, Tanir, Nico, Naf, Yuri. Do you know what that makes me feel like when I look at that team?
What?
Great on paper.
Yeah, it's very, very. I think I've definitely won on paper. I think
100% of the time, my team would be the better team. In actuality, this is the kind of team that we're like, it's like, what if we did this on G2, guys? And some HLTV forum comes up with it, but it'd never be possible. It'd never work. And in reality, probably wouldn't actually be a very good team. But you'd be tempted by the look of it.
Yeah. Now that I'm looking at this, if I was going to make one change, I'm surprised neither of us took Twists. Because he can fill many spots. No, but I mean, look, I took Naf. I took Naf because I know he can AWP.
You took Naf to AWP, right? Like that's fair enough. Yeah. It's not like you're talking about Naf being in his prime right now.
No, but like Twists, he could play opener. He could play support. You could put him in IGL role if you want. I'd say he could AWP. He could be, a little bit here.
I wouldn't touch him.
I feel we've left good talent on the table, I think, but I think both of us did very good. So what was you had Fallen AWPing, not calling.
Wickardia's my closer, Flamesy my opener, Crabney's my IGL, and Heavy God is my fill player.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
That's pretty fucking good. And that
is pretty good.
I like my balance, personality.
I think
as well.
In current day, that's probably better. Like.
Well, it is the current day, to be fair. Like,
except for like that feels like eyeballers to me. That feels like a tier 1 eyeballers, because you're probably firing on all the cylinders on every single part of the team, except for the fact that you have a pretty shit AWPer.
I have an AWPer who is an AWPer, and I think that's quite important because you not only have a shit AWPer, you have a shit AWPer who doesn't AWP. Like,
but your AWPer will drop 0.97 in 2026, while mine will probably give me like a 105.
Why? Why would he? Why would Naf drop anything?
He did when Naf was AWPing.
In
2019. Because I've gone more towards the end of like, okay, let me try to pick players who have actually done these things. Like Nico has been an excellent
If we're picking
opener.
Arbitrary periods, Fallen 2017, 2016.
No. I'm just saying what the foundation, except for your Fallen pick, I think your team is pound for pound better today. I've more gone on like, Nico has been an excellent opener. Tanir has been an excellent closer. Naf has been an excellent AWPer.
Excellence generous. Jesus Christ, man.
Serviceable. Probably out of this table, I would, except for Fallen, probably the best.
Okay. Except for Fallen.
Yeah, but this is the fucking table we had to go with. I mean, Fallen's a nice pick and all.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take.
But also, if you're taking Fallen versus Naf in 2026, who's the better AWPer? It's
Fallen
Naf.
every time. Fallen every time. Are you mad?
Okay. Yeah.
Naf doesn't AWP, motherfucker.
Neither does fucking Fallen. That's the thing.
He does. He's second AWPs, and AWP's better as a second AWPer than Naf ever did as a primary, because he wasn't a primary.
I'm 100% sure Naf second AWPs for Liquid now.
Of what use is that for your case? Of what use is that?
This was a really good draft. This was a really good draft game. This is a draft game. Good draft.
Yeah, I like the limit, because otherwise I would have gone like, because usually we limit 2 per team, and I would have gone double Furia. Could have found a way to go double Vitality as well. because those were
Yeah.
left open. Like Flame Z and then filling with Mezzi and having Crabany still a more aggressive IGL. I think that's pretty tantalizing. But yeah, let's get into your game. You've got a hot or cold planned for us.
Yes.
Or planned for me, unfortunately. So
Yes.
what am I mean, I was about to say what am I looking for, but then I realized that's the whole point.
You have 15 questions to guess which player or team I'm thinking about, and it's for every question you ask, I'm going to give you a score 0 to 100 based on how like close you are. Where 100 is the correct answer, 0 is way off. So this might be by association, it might be by vibes. Sometimes you often start by going for haircuts or facial.
Yeah, I slash it. I start just playing the odds, just going for physical traits because it does just kind of help.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Right.
So hang on, give me 1 second before you keep going. There we go.
Okay. So I get into this?
Yeah, kick us off.
Okay, let's go with red logo. Classic one.
Red logo is a classic pick for Kingt in the hot or cold game. And I think, to be honest, the answer is going to be a fat low number. I will give you like a 6.
A 6. All right, red logos. Current can be all wiped out. So Mouse, bye-bye. Phase, bye-bye. Astralis, bye-bye. 3D Max, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say major contending.
What, present day?
Yes. Present day major contending.
3.
3. Okay. So it might be Swedish.
Hey.
Just got to throw the anti-propaganda out there as well. If you're going to keep propagandizing in favor of the Swedish scene, I'm going to throw out some shots in the other direction.
All right.
So probably not one of the top 5 teams. Even top 10, most of them probably would get a better chance than this. I'm talking about a team that's barely in major contention at all. Like, if it's a 3. No red logos. Let's go down here. It's a good amount of a certain country down here. Let's say Brazil.
Nah, that's like that is probably like a 1. I don't think I can associate.
Damn, no, not even vaguely touching. So I'm assuming it's like some tier 2 EU type thing. Because tier 1 teams would play Brazilians at least enough to get more than a 1. It's not 100 Thieves. We managed to eliminate the red logo thing. Could be something to do with Asia. Okay, I'm going to say, yeah, Asian CS, Asia.
No, it's still I'll up that to a 2 and a Brazil to a 2.
Okay, so we can cut those and just we're looking at EU. Let's just go on the Valve VRS European ranking. Let's go. And let's scroll down to outside of major qualification range. Let's say Russian speaking.
Ooh. See, that's a tricky one. That's a genuine tricky one. I'm gonna go for 38, and you'll understand why afterwards. But I'll go for 38.
38. Now, it could be a team that has a player that's Russian speaking. Could be a player who's had his career be mixed between Russian and non-Russian speaking. Something's just tilted in my head, like something that's not an English thing, that's a French thing, sorry. Something has just clicked in my head. In French, you say "m'a fait tilt," but yes, something has just clicked. OG.
No, we're back down. We're back down to.
Okay, so it's not anything to do with Flammus.
Probably a 2. Yeah.
So it's not Flammus.
Nice pick. I think Flammus, very much Russian speaking. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But also would have played in non-Russian speaking teams, and that's why I thought maybe that would be the rub, as it were. Okay, we need to start eliminating some colors. White logo.
Yes, white logo. I think. Nah. Probably slightly more than red logo, but still like nah, it's probably less even 5. You have some very low hitters right now.
Yeah, I do. I'm eliminating a lot of things. So we're looking for not a white, not a red. So we
The
could
missile
have.
knows where it is because it knows where it isn't.
We have a yellow. We have some purples around this sort of ranking spot. No, not you. All right, let's get them out the way. Scandinavia. And I mean the proper geographical term, Scandinavia, meaning Denmark, Norway,
Nah. Like, 7.
Okay, we're eliminating a lot of stuff. I'm looking at like a distantly related to Russian speaking, but not too distant. Probably the closest we got is to Russian speaking.
Yeah, your best one right now is Russian speaking.
With 38 or something like that. But I've eliminated all of the Scandies, pretty much.
Yeah.
I still got a weird feeling Team Liquid might be involved because of JL and the propensity for Lithuanians to speak Russian, which I believe is not uncommon. But they have a very white logo. It's not fully white, but if someone playing on Liquid was involved, it'd probably be more than a 5. So let's move away from them. BC Game, 38. I mean, they're 40% Russian speaking almost. By that logic, if they 38, basically 40. They are 4/5 of the team. Not a terrible connection. Let's go with Star Orpa.
Nah.
PC Game.
Like a 4. I can up white logo to a 10. From a 5 to a 10. Second best. I forgot about one thing.
Okay. Lord Almighty, I am stuck in the mud on this one.
Yeah, you have 9, so you have 6 to go.
Okay. Okay, how do I phrase this? Pre-COVID org. So like a pre-COVID org. Like this org is relevant pre-COVID.
Nah, there I'm gonna have to give you a 1, bro.
This is a pure post-COVID. Fuck. Goodbye, ninjas in
pajamas.
pajamas.
Inter-COVID or post-COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just distinctly not pre-COVID, yeah.
Distinctly not pre-COVID. So goodbye an IP. Goodbye ill will. Goodbye.
Oh. Well, okay. Nah, I'm gonna stick by my 1 and you have to adjust to my line of reasoning.
Yeah, this is the problem. You're a famously unreasonable man, and that is good.
Because as I'm hearing your reasoning, I want to change the number, but for this one, I'm just gonna stay, and you'll have to adjust it the way my mind works.
Your mind doesn't work. That is part of the problem. God damn it. Damn, that just uneliminates basically everyone because you're an imbecile. I'm actually fucked. Oi, oi, oi. Who can this even be? All right, let's just start knocking off countries again. Poland.
18, maybe.
How much?
18, maybe.
18. It can't be sinners, because I don't know how he can interpret them to be pre-COVID or not pre-COVID, despite being pre-COVID or some other bullshit. I don't know. Just eliminate them.
Also have a Polish player.
There's a 1 Polish player, but 18? Could be, but could also not be. Oh, this is not very helpful. It's not.
I think you're up to. You have 4 more.
Yeah, this is tough. If you somehow pick Fnatic with the series of answers, I'd be so pissed off.
That would be probably an old Fnatic lineup. somehow non-Scandinavian. Well, I guess the current one is not particularly.
You'd have found a way to make that logic work, I'm sure. I'm
Surely
struggling to
Crim's
put together.
accounts. Surely Crim's accounts for more than 7.
Surely, but
Scandinavia.
it's you. And apparently you've somehow broken the logic of the COVID question entirely without me knowing what the fuck the original logic was supposed to be.
I know it's not like a massive deviation. You can probably figure it out.
It's just not helpful. Big is a pure white logo. It's not going to be big. I'm broken here. Let's throw out another country. Why not? Let's try do a ranking thing. VRS top 20.
See, that is just a straight up fat fucking 0.
Oh, some garbage.
Well, okay. No, okay. Now I have to. This one I have to adjust. I'll give it. No, wait, top 20 Europe? No, 0.
Top 20 Europe, 0. Huh? Have I somehow cocked up and like it's actually an American team this entire time? What have my questions been? This game is taking fucking forever. What have my questions been?
Red logo, major contending, Brazil, Asia, Russian speaking, OG, white logo, Scandinavia, Star Opera, pre-COVID org, Poland, and VRS. And I assume OG meant the team and not original gangsta.
It did mean the team, yes. Okay,
the top 3 you have are Russian speaking 38, white logo 10. Poland 18, and then white logo 10.
It can't be a Muslim player. Their logo is distinctly red. I'm feeling like you might pick some like North American who doesn't play enough internationally to be counting Brazilian points very much. Like some bullshit like a wildcard player. Wildcard being red and white as a logo would piss me off especially.
Yeah, that'd be higher.
It should be, but it's you. Skin Rave is pure white as a logo, not as a group of players. No, I don't think it can be because all the North American teams who are in the right range that I've been discussing are white logos or red logos, straight up.
You have 3 more.
Yeah, I'm aware. It's not gonna be Passion UA somehow. I have 3 more. Okay. I'm actually so screwed.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have a hard time getting there.
I'm gonna be tilted as all hell when I hear your fucking answer as well. It'll either be something I completely missed in terms of my questions, or it'll be that your answers actually make 0 sense, and I'm just gonna be mad.
No, I think they make a lot of sense. I realize there's 2 where we might disagree, but I think they make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So otherwise, I don't know how I've ended up here. All right, screw. I'm gonna waste a question. North America.
Nah. Like an 8, probably.
Okay, so I was in the right place when I was in EU.
Yeah. I'd say so.
Yeah, somehow be something to do with AM. Well, there's 2 Scandies on the team currently. Historically, there's been more. I doubt it's AM.
Oh, 3. No, never mind.
I
wonder if the chat has got it yet.
Well, there's no live chat, so.
I know. I was trying to pretend that this is a live show.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have.
No, I mean, because you've just been way off with all the questions. So it's actually.
I don't understand how. You haven't picked some African team or something.
Bravado.
Oh god, is this going to be a reference to earlier in the show? Is this going to be like a Middle Asian thing? I don't know. I don't know how you'd end up with so much in the Polish score.
Would have been fun if I went there.
No, I don't think it could be. All right, let's go to quote the very humorous and very interesting Slavoj Žižek. Mitteleuropa?
Mitteleuropa. Nah, okay. No, okay, I see. It'll probably be 18 again, to be honest. Same as Poland.
Ow. Oh my god. So it's not Czechs and Slovaks. I thought maybe it'd be like a Unity player or something, and there was some connection to some Polish players, and some abstract connection to some Russian-speaking nonsense. Oh. How many questions do I have left?
I think this might be your 15th. Yeah, it is. Your 15th.
My
Coming up.
15th?
Yes.
Oh, crap.
The last one you make, yeah.
The last one I asked, then I have to do a final guess.
I know this is your guess. This is your guess.
This is my guess. God damn.
Yes. So your top three are Russian speaking 38, Middle Europe 18, and Poland 18. Yeah, you just haven't hit on anything which was vaguely related.
It's not going to be a Gen 1 player, is it? Like, it's not going to be French randomly. How would it be? What would he have thought of? What would be relevant in Quack's mind? Maybe MBK, because he'd switch over to assistant coaching rather. Not sure how he'd get 38 for Russian speaking related to MBK though. Like at all, so it can't be that. 38 Russian speaking. Like, is it Romanians? Is it Nexus player? Could be a Nexus player. Who would he even be thinking about though on Nexus?
My name is NBK. Assistant coach for Gen 1. 3D Max.
Right, I'm going to throw out a guess. I'm going to say a name. Okay?
Yep.
Jota.
Nah, that is unfortunately incorrect.
Fuck, what's the score on a Jota guess?
It's pretty low. It's probably like a 6.
Fuck.
A 6 or a 7, I think, probably. Now, I was thinking about JL, J Legend, current Team Liquid stand-in, and you mentioned him, and this is where we might have
This is where
a
I'm
discussion.
fucking furious, yeah.
No, because listen, okay, red logo, I went for a 6 because actually he's never played for a team with a red logo, but Apex were orange, so I upped it from a 0. Major contending. He's only contending if he transfers to an already qualified team. He is not going to be in the major. Brazil, Asia, 2 because he plays against them pretty much as any other European top level player. Russian speaking, he's played on one squad for like 6 maps, which had a decent hope of being fully Russian speaking. I just went for 38 because that's kind of like the percentage chance that I would guess that JL speaks Russian, because he's more Western Lithuanian than Eastern Lithuanian, so it's more likely he doesn't.
Right.
OG2, no, he's never played there, but he's played against them. White logo, that's why I upped it to a 10 was when you mentioned Liquid, but he just isn't a Liquid player. Navi don't have a white logo, Mad Lions don't have one. Theirs is like gold. Apex is distinctly orange. And then what's the other team? No, there are no other teams. Those are the teams he's played for. So yeah, that's it. Scandinavia 7. He's had a fair few amount of Scandinavian teammates, but I wouldn't consider him associated with that. Star Opera, I know he isn't one. So 4. There's no Star Opera.
Yeah, no. He's not a star for his current team, but he was an AWPer. So I thought,
He did op.
He did AWPer distinctly for a period.
Okay, that's honestly a mistake on my part. I did forget.
Wouldn't have helped.
Anyway,
It wouldn't have helped.
It wouldn't have helped. Pre-COVID org, JL had no career before COVID whatsoever.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. And this is where, when you started naming, okay, so it wouldn't be this, it wouldn't be this. Then I was like, okay, no, so he's actually played for like Navi, which is very much a pre-COVID org. But that's where I was like, no, this is where you have to adjust to me.
You picked a
I'm going to
guy
stand my
who's a
ground.
stand-in on a team currently, how was
Yes.
I fucking supposed to find him? Because I'm asking about.
We've talked
orgs.
about him several times in this
Yeah,
episode.
but I'm talking about orgs. I'm trying to narrow down who they play for. He plays for no one, so nothing I asked at any point was relevant. Like,
Yes.
really, it never helped in actuality.
Poland and Middle Europe got an 18 by proximity to Lithuania, and like he's played against a lot of these teams who played Middle Europe and such. VRS top 20 EU, he's not there. He's not gonna be there, even if he does end up on Liquid's ranked lineup. Liquid are, first of all, well, they're gonna stay on the European ranking when he is on there, but they won't be top 20 because they are nowhere near in Europe. North America 8. I upped it a little bit because he's played stand-in for Liquid, but it's kind of the same. He's just played against them. And then Jota was the 6 at the end because, no, he just hasn't. So I don't think I was particularly outrageous. I picked a sneaky one.
You picked a
Which
guy
I knew would be difficult.
but the premise of the game would have almost no chance of finding. Like, what am I supposed to do?
You know, I usually pick somebody who's like top of mind, newsworthy.
Yeah, but, like
in
the type
the
of questions we
zeitgeist.
ask. Yeah.
Totally.
Your associations make sense because he's only a temporary Liquid player, and so therefore he wouldn't get a lot of points for the Liquid stuff.
Yeah.
Which kind of fucks with me because I'm like, I'm trying to find a player on a team.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but you also just kind of went in the wrong direction, you know.
Yeah, I looked for a player on a team, as I said.
Yeah.
I know what I did wrong. I looked for a player on a team. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, but unfortunately you lose today. Come back next week to play again.
It's okay. I won my game. That's all I care about. Let's get into the Eternal Shuffle. We need to hurry this up. It's been 2.5 hours, and I want to go to bed at some point.
Fucking hell. Yeah, I have a TLDR story to write.
Yeah, get into it. The Eternal Shuffle. Let's speed run them. I don't need your opinion. You don't need mine. You're gonna name the trades. I'm gonna grade them, and we're gonna move the fuck on.
Liquid and G2 swap nerds and mobs MD. What's the grade for Liquid?
As an org, it's a cynical B. And for G2, I guess it wasn't working. B as well.
Team composition wise, do you like nerds in G2?
You have to change Mattis into an actual hard opener role. But yeah, that can fuck. So yeah, I don't hate it.
Mobs in Liquid, does he fuck anything up? Does he fix the team?
Doesn't fix anything. Fixes their ranking. That's it.
That's Ends bench their entire roster. But they're going back to a full Finnish lineup and investing in their local scene. Grade for nationalism.
A+.
Nice. Do you want any of these Ends players to move anywhere? To be honest, that's a dumb question. We want probably all of these guys to move somewhere.
Pody into the top 20 somewhere for a team that needs an AWPer, whose AWP situation is dog shit. Netu to 3D Max eventually will be fun. Krasnal Fiku, I don't care for. SDY to Bait, please.
Yep. Inner Circle, speaking of Ukrainian teams, Inner Circle have cut Flyrax, and they've signed Headtrick to op.
You get a C for trying.
Yep. Virtus Pro have promoted Forever and Aqua RS. RIP Triborg. What did he do?
Not a whole lot, unfortunately.
Great for this.
Virtus Pro get a P for proper shit.
P for Prodigy with Mir.
No.
As in-game leader. Aqua RS isn't even in-game leading this team anymore.
DFRAG.
Bestia have cut Noktse. I feel like this has happened before and then they brought him back. But they've cut Noktse. Nukts. And they've brought back Timo, I think his name is, from the Uruguayan player, from loan to Bestia.
I think probably.
Are they still shit?
He was one of their better players, and they needed to bring him back. I don't know why they let him go on loan in the first place. Like, he was good from his roles. That was kind of the whole conversation about him. So yeah, you need a good grade from this.
Yep. Sangal have cut Danists, and this is unannounced, but it was rumored, and he's playing with them. Cypher is playing with Sangal.
Was Danists AWPing on this team?
No.
Then B.
I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to double check that. Oh, actually, it might be. No, I'm pretty sure. Surely it must be Radix. Hang on. What the fuck is this? Surely it must be Radix. Because otherwise, what the fuck is he doing on this team? Yes, Radix is an AWPer.
Okay, so B.
Yep. AM Dele kind of benched himself in AM, and they've been playing with Miltzy.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Yep.
A-.
Yes. Phantom, after cutting DGL, I think 2 weeks ago, have added Milky, but it's not Milky the Bulgarian. It's Mulki, the Polish shopper.
Weird choice, I'm going to be honest. To me, on first instinct, I mean, numbers are all right in the past 3 months. I don't know.
Good player.
I don't really rate him. I've not really watched a whole bunch of him, to be honest. I'll go with a C for now, because I don't know the player well enough.
Yeah, Nuclear Tigres have swapped their coach. Tony Black was coaching them, apparently, and they've added Polt as their new coach. Did you feel Nuclear Tigres were due a coach change? Were they underperforming?
They had some questionable results, some dodgy losses. And I guess it must be was this after the MPKBK LAN?
Yes, it was after.
Yeah, because they went out. They lost to VP Prodigy and WW. Like, that's probably a bit of a shocker given who they are. Yep. So yeah, they probably were due a change. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, coach change is coach change, but yeah, I'll give them a. I'm not going to give them a grade. Coach change.
All right. And finally, Alter Ego have signed Boros and Pokemon.
A++ for signing Boros and one of the best names in the game with Pokemon.
Yeah, I can tell you the full roster.
Immediately knockout Rare Atom for a qualifier. Fucking Boros.
Yeah.
Top G. I mean, it's a shame you sucked in the rest of the event after that, not going to lie. But
yeah,
had to knock out Rare Atom on the way.
It's Bentet, Grat, Pokemon, Boros, and Paul Bandana. And I saw a clip from one of the games.
Sweet
it was
Louisiana.
One of the worst clips I've ever seen. But hey, they won the round. So, yeah, that's all the shuffles. Much less eternal than usual.
Yes, rather rapid, but still eternal because it's ongoing and never ending. That's the point of it being eternal. Not that it takes fucking forever to do. Let's get into prospects of the week. Wrap this show up. Quack, who have you chosen? Which Swede has tickled your fantasy?
It was gonna be Bob XD, but he got knocked out way too early. It's at the start of this week I was still in Copenhagen and Poi was still playing Counter-Strike, and he very nearly broke his own kill record in one of those games. Motherfucker crazy. Is insane. So he just gets that nod for me. He's my prospect of the week. Once again, I don't have to elaborate. You all saw the game, and you're gonna see more games because you love watching Hundred Thieves. Yeah. Boys prospect of the year, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. And I've picked Zido of K27. I didn't realize he played so many damn maps. I knew he played that CIS LAN and won it with K27 with a pretty damn good performance of his own. But then he also played in CCT and European Pro League, technically won European Pro League in the last week, and got a playoff berth, well, eliminated in playoffs of CCT. Drops a ridiculous 124 for the week. He's a classic CT star opener, T-side hard entry type of player. Gets a lot of frags. Just a big fragger. Top guy. And gets overshadowed by Cashlid sometimes, but Cashlid's been rather bad the last couple of weeks. So yeah. Zido gets some credit. Zido gets some attention.
Not bad, not bad. These are just two standard good players at this point, to be honest. These are yeah, it's a good week for good players.
Yeah, but all right, that's going to be the show. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for making it this far. If you did, leave a comment telling us your thoughts on any of our takes. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Sub for more content. Remember, becoming a member is the best way to support the show. Not that Quack sees a penny of it. And then, yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.